All right, listen up. Imagine getting ice-guyed into a world full of gods and cultivators, only to find out you're a powerless mortal with zero talent. Talk about starting the game on nightmare mode. But get this, the dog he raises is a demon king. The tree he plants is a world tree, and even his random doodles are treated like divine scriptures. The entire world thinks our boy is a hidden god-tier expert, but he's the only one who has absolutely no idea. Meanwhile, back at our boy's peaceful little courtyard, you'd expect some Zen vibes, right? Wrong. Look at this. He's got a freaking robot personal trainer leading a scientific workout session. Only our boy Lin Yinfan could have something this bizarre just chilling in his backyard. And this thing isn't just any robot. It's a full-on motivational speaker. A customized training plan. You can be like me too. Bro, it's trying to sell workout plans like it's a divine technique. The dedication is real. And who are the lucky students for this efficient training? A pig, a cat, and a snake. Before they can even process what's happening, the wolf trainer just yeets the poor piggy, who's screaming his lungs out. Meanwhile, the big shots watching from the sidelines are just like, yep, they're dead. The chaos is just perfect. Even the white cat has a sudden epiphany like, oh, so this is the high-level training my sister goes through. And just like that, it's a mad dash. Hey, don't leave me behind. It's either FOMO or pure terror, and honestly, I'm here for it. Meanwhile, over at the Green Cloud Valley, this dude is flexing his collection of pets to some ladies. Look at my amazing pets, he says, proudly introducing his pig, parrot, and rabbit. Little does he know, these aren't just pets. They're probably some high-level cultivators in disguise. But the ladies aren't just there to admire the pets. They're scheming. They know the real boss is our boy, Mr. Lee. They're all whispering about how they need to stay on his good side, because his good fortune is literally what's keeping their valley afloat. The fangirling has turned into a strategic operation, and it looks like they've found his weakness. One of them whispers that even the great Master Lee has a soft spot for one particular food. But just as they're about to spill the tea, our boy himself walks in. What are you guys talking about? Look at them panic. The tension is hilarious. They lead him to what they call a vegetable garden, but something is off. This purple plant thing is creepily talking about becoming a meal. And our boy, bless his heart, is just confused. Wait, we're going to eat games? In a garden? He has no idea these vegetables are probably priceless spiritual herbs that are sentient. The confusion just keeps escalating. One of the ladies points at a character who is clearly not a raccoon and casually says, "Look at that fat raccoon. Let's cook it for him." The poor piggy is sweating bullets, and suddenly this massive blue monster just loses it. Somebody, take this game and kill it now. Things are getting heated, but our boy, being the kind soul he is, steps in. Please wait. I know it's ugly, but it's a living thing. Let's not eat it. And how do they react? By bursting into tears and calling him the kindest person alive. The fangirling is off the charts. He's just being a decent guy, and they're treating it like a divine decree. So, with the raccoon off the menu, our boy decides to take matters into his own hands. Never one to pass up a chance to show off his mortal skills, he ties on an apron and gets ready to cook. He's about to turn their world upside down with some simple home cooking, and they have no idea what's coming. As our boy preps in the kitchen, the fan club is already in session. They're just gushing over how kind, gentle, and generous Master Lee is. They're literally vowing to repay his kindness 100 times over. Bro, he just saved a pig he thought was a raccoon. The obsession is real. And it turns out, the ugly creatures he saved were this purple bird and white rabbit, who are now literally kneeling in gratitude. Meanwhile, this dude ZU is so shook, he just passes out on the spot. He probably knows these aren't just any animals, and his brain just couldn't handle the fact that Master Lee was about to have them for lunch. Meanwhile, in another part of the kitchen, we get this wholesome moment. The pink-haired girl is just in awe of her friend's cooking. It's a nice, normal moment, which is about to be completely overshadowed by the culinary apocalypse our boy is about to unleash. And now, back to the main event. The ladies, including a very sad zombie for some reason, are all offering to help. But our boy is in the zone. He's looking at what's probably the foot of a divine beast, and is like, I'll combine this with tofu. He's treating legendary ingredients like they're from the local grocery store. The sheer casualness is god tier, and they're pulling out all the stops for him. The hostess orders her 9th grade red carp to be brought over. Look at the dude's face. He's like, sister, that fish is so expensive. They're bringing out the equivalent of a national treasure for him to use as a substitute for fish eggs. The flex is unreal. The sister has to give her brother a whole motivational speech just to get him to give up the fish. Look at the poor guy, sweating and crying. It's a tragic moment for his wallet, but a hilarious one for us. Finally, with the promise of good karma in the next life, The brother tearfully says goodbye to his precious fish. The cook gets right to work, promising the ingredients that their bond is stronger than gold, so she won't eat all of them. Thanks? I guess. Our boy is now in full-on chef mode. The pink-haired girl is already drooling, but he's like, not yet. This is just the first step. He then launches into a culinary masterclass on how to make tofu taste like meat. These cultivators are about to get a crash course in actual cooking. Then our boy casually asks, the fire is getting smaller. Do you have more fire? And this simple question triggers an all-out war among the fangirls. They all start unleashing their divine flames, trying to one-up each other to impress him. They're literally using ultimate moves just to light a stove. The thirst is real. And our boy's reaction to all this? Wow, you cultivators are so cool, flying around and breathing fire. He's genuinely impressed, which just makes the cultivators even more emotional. They're all like, no, Masterly, we're the ones who envy you. This whole scene is just a masterclass in unintentional flexing. Finally, with the help of divine fire, the dish is ready. And boom, it literally glows with heavenly light. Our boy just cooked a dish so epic, it looks like a legendary artifact being forged. Everyone is just stunned into silence by the best pearl. Look at him, so proud of himself. Perfect, he says. Meanwhile, the cultivators are having a spiritual crisis just from the aroma alone. You can see the confusion on their faces. They're smelling something that's rewriting their entire understanding of the Tao. Remember Ziyu, the guy who fainted? His sister wakes him up by telling him it's just tofu, not his actual pets. He dramatically vows to become a vegetarian until the food is served. The smell hits him, and he just breaks down, screaming, damn it, why do you guys smell so delicious? The betrayal is real and absolutely hilarious. 1 second he's shouting, I, Guziyu, would rather starve to death than eat my friends. The next second, shit, my body voluntarily got up. His body is literally dragging him towards the table against his will. You love to see it. And now, the moment of truth. The hostess takes the first bite, and her mind is blown. This isn't just soup. It's a taste of the Tao itself. You can see the enlightenment hitting her as she savors the flavor of a god-tier dish made by a guy who thinks he's just a regular dude. The reaction is instantaneous and explosive. She's screaming so tasty, so hard her spiritual form materializes behind her. Bro, this food is literally causing people to power up on the spot. This isn't a meal, it's a cheat code. The others are having the same reaction. They're all in culinary heaven. Even Daji has to admit, no one will dislike Master Lee's cooking skill. Our boy is out here accidentally creating divine elixirs and calling it lunch. The whole dinner party devolves into a chaotic free-for-all. These elegant cultivators are fighting over food like seagulls. And our boy is just standing there like, I know you guys like it, but aren't you overreacting? He truly has no idea what he's done. And what about our newly minted vegetarian? He's completely given in, shoveling food into his mouth while crying tears of joy. So tasty. This is so tasty. His principles lasted a whole 2 minutes. You gotta respect the commitment to good food. And it gets even better. The animals outside, attracted by the divine aroma, are all crying too. They're peering through the window, giving their former friend the ultimate death stare. Now we know the real you. Despicable man. The betrayal cuts deep. After the meal, our boy starts dropping some casual culinary knowledge. He brings up a famous imperial dish called jade sturgeon tendon, mentioning how it's so rare that even the emperor could barely get his hands on it. He goes on to describe the elaborate process. Using over 40 pounds of sturgeon tendon, the best cooking methods, pressure cooking it to perfection. He's making it sound like the most luxurious dish imaginable. But then comes the classic Lin Yinfan twist. He basically says, yeah, all those fancy-named dishes, back where I'm from, we just make them with simple ingredients. As long as your cooking skill is good, it tastes the same. He's casually downplaying what they consider divine cuisine. And the cultivators are just eating it up. In their minds, he's not talking about regular ingredients. He's talking about his godlike ability to turn something ordinary into something divine. He thinks he's being humble, but they think he's revealing the profound secrets of the Tao. This single comment sends them into a frenzy. Did Master Li just admit it? Admit that he previously lived in the immortal world. One guy even connects it to the peach banquet from Journey to the West. Their ability to overthink everything is truly next level. And just like that, they've completely misinterpreted his intentions. They think he's giving them a motivational speech. Follow me, and one day you too can eat rare and precious foods. The whole crowd gets hyped up. Our boy just wanted to share some cooking tips, and he accidentally started a cult. When they tell him their conclusion, our boy just laughs it off. You guys flatter me too much. He thinks they're just joking around, completely oblivious to the fact that they are 100% serious. Only Daji stands by, understanding the situation in her own way. She's not just thinking about food. She's vowing to protect her master no matter what he decides to do. Now that's what you call loyalty. But while our heroes are enjoying their meal, trouble is brewing elsewhere. We cut to the villain of the arc, Lu Xinghe, head of the Lu family. He's furious because his troublemaker son has gone missing. Just then, one of his subordinates reports some interesting news. A new sect called the Golden Lotus Sect has a disciple whose cultivation is growing at an impossibly fast rate. The family head immediately gets suspicious, seeing this upstart sect as a potential threat to his dominance. So, he gives a new order. Investigate the secret behind the speed of her growth. You could just feel the menace. This Lu family is bad news, and you just know a confrontation is on the horizon. Back with the Golden Lotus Sect, they get word that the Lu family is investigating them. But they're not too worried. Why? Because their secret weapon is a calligraphy scroll given to them by our boy, which they believe is a celestial treasure. Meanwhile, the Lu family's problems are just starting. As they're scheming, a servant reports that King Luo from the Qianlong immortal dynasty has arrived, and he does not look happy. The family head is all bravado at first. Since when did we get scared of people seeking revenge? Send an elder to fight him. But before he can even finish his sentence, another report comes in. The Lin Immortal Palace has also arrived. Okay, now it's getting serious. And it doesn't stop there. Another report. Green Cloud Valley is here too. The family head finally loses his cool. That ungrateful bastard. What kind of people did he offend? Looks like his son really messed up this time. His subordinate suggests that maybe they should apologize, but the family head's pride won't allow it. Never mind, he declares. I will go in person. He's ready to face them head on. He marches out, confident that the reputation of his ancestors will be enough to scare them off. But he's met with a chilling declaration. Tonight is the last day for the Lu family in the immortal world. Yeah, he messed with the wrong crowd. The Lu family members are in disbelief. The Lu family will vanish. How arrogant. They try to flex their powerful background, but the other side hits them with a warning. If you anger the Almighty, he will burn you into ashes. They're talking about our boy, of course. Just then, the Lu family head makes his grand entrance, flexing his power and showing off his family crest. But the coalition of masters who've come for him are completely unfazed. They know who they're really here for. And then, in a twist nobody saw coming, the arrogant family head starts apologizing. I'm sorry, he bellows, leaving everyone, especially the old master he's bowing to, completely baffled. He keeps apologizing, blaming his foolish son, and citing his family's motto of peace is priority. The sudden shift from threatening tyrant to apologetic dad is giving everyone whiplash. The confusion is palpable. He's still in the middle of his performance, promising to drag his son back to apologize, when the old master tries to interject. But the Lu family head cuts him off with a bombshell. Your son is dead. Wait, what? The plot just took a wild turn. It turns out the Lu family's son had already been taken care of by someone from our boy's entourage. Look at this bald master, calmly admitting, I was the one who sent him off. You don't mess with the big shots, people. Hearing that his son is dead, the Lu family head drops the act. The friendly facade vanishes, replaced by pure rage. Do you really think the Lu family is duped so easily? He screams. Welp, so much for peace. He summons a massive demon spirit, vowing to kill everyone present for harming his son. The old master simply responds, I cannot tolerate such behavior. The battle lines are drawn. The other masters jump in to help, forming a 3-on-1 battle against the enraged family head. The fight is intense, but the Lu patriarch is confident. With only the 3 of you, he sneers, don't ever dream of defeating me. But surprise, surprise, he gets taken down almost instantly. The onlookers are shocked, speculating that he must have been slacking on his training. The guy talked a big game, but couldn't back it up. Even after being captured, he tries to negotiate, offering to call it a draw if they just let him kill his son's murderer. But the old master shuts him down. Sorry to say this, he says calmly, but you can't. He then suggests they just shake hands and make up. The constant flip-flopping from rage to negotiation shows he's clearly terrified. This guy's a paper tiger. The old master finally lays it all out for him. You don't understand who you've offended, he explains. He tells him that all the evil deeds his family has committed are about to come back to haunt him. Judgment Day has arrived. Realizing he's messed with a power far beyond his comprehension, the Lu family head breaks down. The old master, feeling only pity, prepares to deliver the final blow. He summons a powerful celestial item, a massive sword that radiates immense pressure. Everyone can feel the overwhelming power. This is the price for angering the friends of a hidden big shot. Faced with certain death, the Liu family head can only scream in defiance, even flipping the bird as a final act of rebellion. But it's all for nothing. His rage is meaningless against this level of power. In his final moments, he tries to unleash the real strength of the Liu family, but it's too late. A once dominant family is wiped out, all because one idiot son decided to mess with the wrong people. And that's a lesson for all the villains out there. This is a chapter cover with no dialogue. Just when you thought it was over, the Liu family head, on the brink of death, pulls out his final trump card, the heaven-splitting sword. Looks like he's planning to take everyone down with him. But look at our guys, they're so not impressed. A celestial item? Is that supposed to be a big deal? Their faces scream, bro, we all got one. The flex is absolutely unreal. Meanwhile, our boy Li Nianfan is having a complete meltdown. He thinks they're flexing on him for being broke. Look at him, crying his eyes out. Can you guys brag without making a personal attack on me? Oh, you sweet, clueless boy. The Liu family head is losing his mind, screaming that they're misusing a sacred flag meant for sealing demons. But honestly, nobody cares about his complaints. The battle is on. And just like that, the fight ignites. Gu Chongqing takes the lead with his sword, a blur of motion as he and the others corner the Liu family head. The Liu head puts up a desperate fight, unleashing waves of energy, but it's completely futile. Against two top-tier cultivators, he doesn't stand a chance and is quickly overwhelmed. In just a few exchanges, he's completely beaten down. This is what happens when you mess with the friends of a hidden master. An absolute wash, no contest. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the battlefield, some of the Liu family's lackeys are scheming. They think they can pull a fast one while the bosses are busy. They feel the immense power from the main fight and know they're outmatched. So they decide to stick to their own little task instead of interfering. Little do they know, they're not the only ones with a plan. Before they can even make their move, a mysterious figure ambushes them out of nowhere. The sudden attack sends the Liu family goons flying. They're completely caught off guard, with no idea what just hit them. And the attacker is revealed. It's our girl. She was just passing by and saw these guys injured, thinking she could help. But these idiots decided to repay her kindness by trying to kidnap her. Huge mistake. She instantly flips, going from nice to meet you to you're about to meet your maker. You morons. How dare you? As she effortlessly takes them all down, she explains with a pout that this is just self-defense, to protect the calligraphy our boy Li Nianfan gave her. The obsession is real, and it's powerful. She figures since the calligraphy is still warm with power, she might as well do something impressive with it. And what's more impressive than naming a new ultimate move on the fly? This is a chapter cover with no dialogue. Channeling the power she absorbed from the calligraphy, she unleashes a vortex of purple energy, instantly trapping her foes. She's so hyped, she shouts, "Gotta give this move a fancy name." What should she call it? She thinks about the heavenly court from Journey to the West, but then dismisses it. In her mind, her brother Nianfan is way stronger than any heaven. My brother Nianfan is definitely stronger than heaven, she declares. So let's call this Heaven Destroyer. The fangirling has reached a whole new level of epic. Back on the main battlefield, the Liu family head has been utterly defeated, left with nothing but screams of helpless rage. Gu Chongqing coldly tells him to blame himself for being too bossy. In your next life, the monk adds, try to be a little more low-key and friendly. A final lesson before the end. In his final moments, realizing some people are just on another level, the Liu head uses his remaining strength to cry out to his ancestor, "My dear ancestor, please see this." He screams that the Liu family is being bullied, hoping his ancestor will descend to the mortal world for revenge. With his dying breath, he puts all his hope into this final call. As he plummets from the sky, he continues to plead, "Please, ancestors, come down here, save the Liu family." With the head of the family dead, Gu Chongqing offers the remaining members a choice. Leave now and live, or stay and perish. He won't kill them all, but sparing their lives isn't enough. He declares he will destroy the Liu family's foundation, built on ill-gotten gains. From today onwards, the Liu family will no longer exist in the immortal world. With that, he gathers immense power, preparing a devastating attack aimed squarely at the Liu family's main compound. This is total annihilation. But just as the attack is about to land, a terrifying pressure descends from the heavens. An ancient, furious voice booms. Who says that the Liu family will no longer exist in the immortal world? This is a chapter cover with no dialogue. Oh snap, the ancestor actually showed up. Seeing the radiant golden figure appear, The remaining Lu family members cry out in reverence. Ancestor. Everyone is completely stunned. An almighty comes to the mortal world? They all thought the path between realms was severed long ago. How is this even possible? The ancestor arrives, radiating pure fury. Who is it that sullied my Lu family, he roars. The sheer power in his voice is suffocating. Just his presence alone is enough to immobilize Gu, Chongqing, and the others. I can't move my body. One of them gasps. This is the power of an almighty. They're completely subdued without him even lifting a finger. The ancestor looks down, baffled. How did a weakling like yourself summon me here? He asks. With the path severed, he expected the mortal world to be in a state of decay, incapable of such feats. The survivor proudly proclaims that he used up all his cultivation and life to perform the summoning. But the ancestor calls his bluff. Impossible. With the current state of the mortal world, you couldn't have summoned me with your power alone. The descendant tearfully points at our heroes, recounting how they were attacked by 3 major powers and beaten to within an inch of their lives. It was them. They did this. Hearing this, the ancestor doesn't hesitate. With a single glare, he strikes. The sheer force of his gaze sends our 3 masters reeling, coughing up blood. They realize this isn't even the ancestor's real body, just an afterimage. And yet, it's this powerful. Compared to him, the Lu heir says grimly, we're just a colony of ants. Gu Chongqing musters his strength to issue a warning. We've come here according to the expert's order. I'm afraid even you can't afford to offend him. The Lu heir scoffs. My ancestor is here. How dare you talk tough? The ancestor dismisses the warning, chalking it up to mortal ignorance. It's no good to be ignorant, he says, deciding to free them from their pain and gather some merit for his family. As the devastating attack descends, panic sets in. Chief Gu, form a protection barrier, they yell. But it's no use. I can't, he says. It's over. They're done for. But at that critical moment, a golden light flashes. A scroll materializes out of thin air, appearing right in front of them. It's him. The so-called trashy king has pulled out the copybook from Master Li. He weeps with joy, screaming, the most savage item is in my hand. I'm not the most trashy one. This is a chapter cover with no dialogue. Everyone is ecstatic that the copybook blocked the Almighty's attack. But the ancestor is just confused. What is that? How can something like that exist in the mortal world? The Lu heir is still running his mouth, laughing. You are finished. No matter what treasure you have, you will be dead soon. He clearly hasn't grasped the situation yet. As the king unfurls the scroll, the poem written by Li Nianfan is revealed, releasing an aura of profound, unparalleled power. The character for fixed or stable seems to leap off the page, transforming into golden chains of light that completely immobilize the ancestor's afterimage. 1 second, he's an invincible god. The next, he's one shot by a piece of paper. The Lu heir watches his ancestor get vaporized and is so shocked he literally pukes his guts out. What a way to go. However, the real ancestor, sensing his afterimage has been destroyed, roars from the immortal realm. Who dares to destroy the afterimage I presented in the mortal world? He doesn't care who it is. He's coming back for blood. Either you or I will die, he screams, ready to unleash his full power on the mortal world. The ancestor's rage manifests as a terrifying inferno that crashes down from the sky. The sheer force of it sending even Gu, Chongqing, and the others flying. But it's not over. After blocking the attack, the copybook itself transforms, morphing into a massive, shimmering golden sword that hangs suspended in the air. The ancestor is still shouting threats, but the divine sword doesn't care. It shoots forward like a meteor, ready to clash with the Almighty's power head-on. The power of this sword is just absurd. It not only shatters the ancestor's attack, but pierces straight through the heavens and into deep space, where it casually blows up a random alien spaceship. Talk about collateral damage. Everyone on the ground can only stare in disbelief. The sky has a hole in it. A sword single-handedly pierced through the heavens. They whisper, completely awestruck. This is a chapter cover with no dialogue. Peeking through the hole in the sky, they see a world beyond. Could that be? Someone asks in wonder, the immortal world? Meanwhile, the last Lu heir can only weep in despair. My child, he sobs, how did you even offend such amazing beings? Within the celestial rift, the true form of the Lu family's ancestor seems to appear. A colossal, golden figure. That's the real body? They exclaim. The dead body of the Almighty? This is a chapter cover with no dialogue. Someone tries to fly up to the hole in the sky, curious to see the immortal world, but the higher he gets, the harder it is to breathe. He quickly gives up, concluding the immortal world definitely isn't up there. Everyone is on edge. They just killed an almighty and tore a hole in reality. I don't know what kind of existence will appear next. Gu Chanqing worries. And right on cue, a gigantic, glowing hand emerges from the clouds. The giant hand snatches the remnant of the Liu family's ancestor. Everyone panics. Is he not dead yet? If he comes back for revenge, and Master Li finds out they messed up, they'll be in deep trouble. The fear of Master Li's disappointment is so great, they're practically begging for death. They'd rather die now than face his wrath if they fail this mission. Gu Chanqing makes a snap decision. I can't let it bring the Liu family's ancestor back. He unleashes all his power in one final, desperate strike against the giant hand. But his attack is completely useless against the colossal hand. He can only watch, exhausted and defeated, as it retracts back through the rift, taking the ancestor's remnant with it. Just as the hand disappears, however, a new figure appears in the light of the rift. That is, Gu Chanqing wonders. And with this new mystery, the chapter comes to an end. This is a chapter cover with no dialogue. Picking up right where we left off, as the giant hand retreated, a new, ethereal figure descends from the rift. The cultivators on the ground are absolutely stunned, wondering if a goddess has just appeared in the mortal world. And who else could it be but Daji, our boy's maid? Seeing the arrogant cultivators who were causing trouble just moments ago, her expression turns ice cold. She immediately brings up the master's rules and asks if they're familiar with them. These guys don't dare to say no, prostrating themselves on the ground in terror, promising over and over that they understand. The survival instinct is real. She warns them to remember this lesson well. After that little lecture, the group finally gets their act together and decides to report back to Master Li immediately. But when they return to the sect, they find their own chief, Gu Chanqing, rushing off somewhere, seemingly preoccupied with something more important. Turns out, the sect chief is on his way to see the real big shot, our boy, Lin Yinfan. He wants to change into some nicer clothes first, but his butler tries to stop him. He pushes the door open anyway and finds the room is completely empty. What the heck, did he get robbed? The chief absolutely loses it. Where's my golden bamboo brush? My autumn water shield? Even all my precious Lady Xian statues are gone. Just as he's about to despair, the butler timidly explains. The young master and lady took everything. They said it was an offering for a master with the surname Li. The moment he hears Master Li, the chief's expression changes completely. He gets it. He gives his butler a look that just screams, "You know nothing." And we cut to his own kids, who have raided their dad's treasury clean just to curry favor with Master Li. Look at the daughter's excitement compared to her dad's pained, reluctant acceptance. The contrast is priceless. The daughter reports back on her success. "Father, Master Li liked the refreshing ball." The old man is thrilled. But then she continues, choking back tears. "Master Li also accepted my koi and parrot as meals." Oh man, talk about a noble sacrifice. While this father-daughter drama unfolds, our completely oblivious protagonist is just casually riding his ox, heading home without a care in the world. New chapter cover. At this point, Lin Yinfan has no idea that these cultivators have built him up in their minds as some legendary, reclusive master. Back at home, he's just playing a friendly game of Go with Daji. And from the looks of it, our boy has won again. Daji may have lost, but she's happy because her skills have improved so much under his guidance. Just then, the whole group of cultivators shows up at their doorstep. Leading the pack is Gu Chanqing, the chief of the Green Cloud Valley. The moment he sees Lin Yinfan, he's incredibly respectful, bowing and scraping, which just leaves our boy completely confused. Our boy scratches his head like, "Why are you telling me all this?" But the cultivators are over the moon, thinking he's satisfied with their performance. Look at these old-timers, the fangirling is off the charts. Gu Chanqing strikes while the iron is hot, presenting a space ball, a high-tier storage treasure, as a gift. Lin Yinfan is just thinking, man, first their compressor, now this treasure. I feel kind of bad taking all their stuff. Seeing his hesitation, Gu Chanqing gets an idea. If Master Li is too shy to accept, how about a painting in return? The others are horrified. You're daring to ask the master for a gift. Do you have a death wish? But little do they know, Gu Chanqing's back is against the wall. He's given away all his sect's treasures to please Master Li. If he doesn't get some kind of blessing in return, his sect is finished. This is an all-or-nothing gamble. To everyone's surprise, Lin Yinfan casually agrees. Sure, I can do that. He's just thinking this old guy is pretty cool, and it's just a painting. No big deal. Meanwhile, the cultivators are erupting in celebration. Master Li agreed. But the moment our boy puts brush to paper, the world itself trembles. A heaven-shattering aura explodes outwards, sending the stunned cultivators flying. Now that's what I call showing off. The next thing they know, they've been pulled directly into the world of the painting. Everything around them is both awe-inspiring and terrifyingly unfamiliar. The heat is unbearable. The very soles of their shoes are melting. They look at each other in panic. What in the world is this place? Staring up at the colossal sun hanging in the sky, it finally dawns on them. The master's painting, it didn't just create a world, it transported them back to the ancient era of myths and legends. New chapter cover. Inside the painting, the cultivators are completely losing their minds. As if things weren't crazy enough, a legendary divine bird, a phoenix, soars past the sun, causing their already overloaded brains to short-circuit. And it doesn't stop there. Another divine bird appears right after, and this one doesn't hesitate to attack. Man, the ancient era is way too dangerous. Just as they're engulfed in flames, certain this is the end, we cut back to the real world where Li Nianfan casually puts down his brush. I'm done. The absolute whiplash from that scene change is just perfect. Li Nianfan sees the guys literally smoking and asks them what's wrong. Well, he explains that he just drew the mythical three-legged golden crow. They're too stunned to even speak. He then proceeds to tell these locals a story from his hometown mythology about Emperor Jun and Shiha giving birth to 10 sons. The cultivators are absolutely captivated, thinking he's not telling a story, but recounting a secret piece of ancient history that he personally witnessed. And when he gets to the part about Ho, he's shooting down 9 of the sons, they're completely sold. No mere mortal could make up a story about shooting down the sons, they think. It's confirmed. Master Li is definitely an ancient being who has lived since the dawn of time. Li Nianfan hands over the painting with a simple proverb about being content when poor and sharing wealth when prosperous. To him, it's just a nice saying. To them, it's a profound teaching of the Tao that sends their minds racing. Gu Changqing, especially, is overthinking it to the max. He's convinced the master is pushing him, warning him that if he doesn't perform well at the upcoming Lock Demon ceremony, he can forget about ever receiving another reward. The pressure becomes too much, and Gu Changqing completely snaps. He starts seeing himself as the last son from the story, terrified that Master Li is going to shoot him down, just like Hou-Yi. The sheer terror makes him pass out on the spot. Our boy is just like. When Gu Changqing finally wakes up, he's back in his own sect. The very first thing he does is start apologizing profusely to Master Li, leaving his son and daughter completely bewildered. He's crying about how the Green Cloud Valley is finished, how he has angered the master. He only calms down a little when his kids present him with the painting of the divine bird. Meanwhile, Gu Changqing's children go to thank Li Nianfan, only to find he's already left to feed his dog. Before leaving, our boy casually invites them to hang out sometime, which sends them into a frenzy of excitement. The master invited us over. New chapter cover. Meanwhile, back at Li Nianfan's courtyard, things are anything but peaceful. Would you believe it? A cat demon is sweating it out on a treadmill, with a tool spirit acting as its personal trainer, ready to crank up the speed at any moment. Oops, looks like the trainer's hand slipped and he cranked the speed way too high, nearly blowing up the treadmill. And if you look around the rest of the yard, the blue giant is napping on a recliner while a divine dragon coils nearby. Just another normal day in the Big Shot's backyard. The barbecue setup over there is even more absurd. The dragon is on fire-breathing duty, and they're roasting a pig demon. The poor pig is screaming, "Big boss, my back is almost charred," while Blackie the dog calmly supervises. Blackie gives the order. Flip him over, the front needs grilling too. The dragon even asks if they should add some cumin. After discussing the barbecue, Blackie goes to check on the beer he's brewing from a snake demon. What a life. Just then, a shy little white cat approaches, blushing, and asks Brother Blackie if he can teach her some spells. Blackie puts on a cool mask, nonchalantly agrees, and even offers to teach her his ultimate move, the dog paws from heaven. But right at that moment, a shout of "Master is back" shatters the peace of the backyard. Instantly, all the demons and divine beasts scatter, scrambling to get back to their positions and pretend like they're just normal, well-behaved pets. Their acting skills are Oscar-worthy. Li Nianfan and Daji return to the courtyard, see everything in order, and praise Blackie for being such a good boy. If only he knew that just seconds ago, this place was a wild demon party. Blackie barks excitedly, but the sonic force of his woof is so powerful it knocks the hiding pig demon right off the wall. Thankfully, our boy is so oblivious he doesn't notice a thing. Back inside, Li Nianfan picks up the treasure from Gu Changqing, a mirror. He examines it for a second before commenting with a look of disgust, "So ugly." He calls it a savage treasure, and then cheerfully yells, "Let's eat." This terrifies the demon inside the mirror, who thinks it's about to become dinner. Its eyes go wide with horror. New chapter cover. Of course, our boy didn't actually eat it. The peaceful days continue. Early in the morning, Lin Yinfan is leading Daji in some morning aerobics. 1234, 2234. The vibe of this place is getting weirder by the day. But even with these simple movements, the demonic power leaking from Daji is enough to kick up a fierce gust of wind. This is the power of a nine-tailed fox. Absolutely terrifying. Meanwhile, Blackie startles Lin Yinfan, who then discovers a mysterious object on the ground. Thinking it's dog poop, he angrily lectures Blackie about using the proper toilet. All of this is being watched by the demon mirror from the window. It's observing, plotting something. As night falls, it grows larger, emanating a sinister aura. The next day, Lin Yinfan finds the mirror by the window again. Thinking it's weird, he casually puts it back on the rack. The moment he touches it, a puff of demonic energy secretly escapes. That night, the demon invades Lin Yinfan's dream. It tries to tempt him with a classic package deal. Endless wealth, beautiful women, ultimate power. But our boy just thinks this feeling is weirdly familiar. Turns out, Lin Yinfan is completely immune to these temptations. He might even find them annoying. The demon is dumbfounded. Is there really a mortal in this world who isn't interested in this stuff? The demon is completely dumbfounded by his lack of interest. Suddenly, an attack comes flying its way. Its temptation having failed, the demon flies into a rage, reveals its true form, and declares its intention to destroy the human world. At that exact moment, Daji happens to find a strange little mirror. The demon thinks, okay, the man didn't work, let's try the woman. It begins its seductive spiel on Daji, completely confident that she'll be drawn in by its temptation. It whispers alluringly, "Young girl, do you want a pretty face that can make everyone go crazy for you?" The sentence is barely out of its mouth before Daji slaps it silly. "Bro, you're trying to tempt a nine-tailed fox with beauty? Are you asking for a beatdown?" The demoness can't believe it. "You dare hit me?" she screeches, but Daji just gives her a deadpan stare, like she's looking at an absolute idiot. All right, kicking off the new chapter. Last time, the demoness got smacked down for trying to tempt Daji with beauty. She learned the hard way that there's always a bigger fish. And now, she is royally pissed. But this lady does not give up. She thinks, okay, can't tempt the master, so I'll tempt the dog. A truly galaxy brain move. She genuinely believes she can win by turning the pet against its owner. And she really goes for it, pulling our boy Blackie into this purple, magical dimension. She's offering him the world. Become the king of all dogs. Have all the pretty female dogs. But Blackie is completely unimpressed. He just turns around and pees on a pole. The disrespect is legendary. Now she's furious. I'm in a bad mood, so let me release my anger on this stupid dog. Famous last words. Blackie swats her away like a fly, leaving her on the ground completely bewildered. Yeah, you mess with the wrong dog, lady. Getting beaten by a dog has her questioning all her life choices. Lying there defeated, she suddenly senses it, a demonic sort of immense power right here in the yard. Her hope is instantly rekindled. This is my chance, she thinks. With that sword, I can turn this all around. But just as she gets excited, a freaking skeleton pops up, claiming they share the same origin and that he's going to help her ask for forgiveness, so she can join the Buddhist sect. Look at her face. She is utterly confused. What is even happening anymore? The skeleton tells her to take a good look at her surroundings. And when she does, pure terror. This yard is packed with absolute monsters. A golden dragon, a spirit, monks, demon kings, every single one of them could obliterate her. This isn't a backyard. It's a goddamn pantheon. Meanwhile, back to our boy Lin Yinfan, who's just chilling and eating some buns in town. The shop owner makes some small talk, mentioning how the old pagoda tree at the east gate got struck by lightning a few days ago. This immediately piques our boy's interest. The owner describes the lightning strike as incredibly powerful, splitting the ancient tree right in two. Thankfully, no one got hurt. But for our boy, with his modern knowledge, this kind of natural disaster is something you can prepare for. So, Lin Yinfan takes Daji to see the lightning-struck tree for himself. The townsfolk are all gathered around, whispering that a 1,000-year-old tree like this must have a spirit. Looking at the majestic, wounded tree, our boy can't help but feel a little sad. He touches the trunk, feeling a bit sentimental. He even makes a little wish for the tree, saying, if you really have a spirit, I hope you're able to be reborn. And as they walk away, little do they know, a new sprout begins to grow from the scorched wood. Our boy's words have power. A simple, heartfelt wish from our protagonist. and a dead tree comes back to life. That's the kind of casual god-tier power he wields without even realizing it. Meanwhile, he's just thinking about scientific solutions to lightning strikes. On the other side of the world, in the cultivator realm, an old senior named Yao Mengji is about to face his heavenly tribulation. This is a life-or-death moment, and everyone is on edge. His disciples are anxiously waiting for him to emerge successfully. But suddenly, a strange phenomenon occurs. The giant Buddha statue in their sect begins to shake, as if foretelling a terrible omen. When old man Yao finally comes out, his face is grim. He tells his disciples that he doesn't have much time left. Panic immediately sets in among them. He explains that he sensed a fundamental shift in the world. The impending catastrophe is more than twice as powerful as it should be. He sees no hope of surviving it. Facing certain death, Yao Mengji has lost all hope and is preparing to accept his fate. Despair hangs heavy in the air. But in this moment of utter despair, he remembers someone, Lin Yinfan. He decides to make one last-ditch effort and pay a visit to the unfathomable expert. So, he arrives at our boy's courtyard and knocks on the door. Once inside, old Yao breaks down, telling Lin Yinfan that a great catastrophe is upon him, and this might be their last meeting. Our boy, completely oblivious, just thinks the old man is sick and expresses his sincere concern. The old man hints that unless some incredible opportunity presents itself, he's a goner. He's trying to ask for a life-saving treasure from our boy, but is too scared to say it directly, so he just keeps beating around the bush. Our boy completely misreads the situation. Thinking the old man is just afraid of dying, he starts giving him philosophical advice about accepting fate peacefully. Hearing this, Yao's heart sinks. He thinks the expert is refusing to help and prepares to leave in despair. Just as he's about to leave, Yao notices the long rod our boy was sharpening and asks what it is. "Oh, this." Lin Yinfan replies casually, "It's a lightning protection rod." "A lightning what?" The old man is absolutely stunned. Our boy explains that since the tree got struck, he got worried about his house and decided to make a lightning rod just in case. The moment Yao hears this, his eyes light up with a blinding hope. He's about to face a lightning tribulation. This treasure is practically custom-made for him. Meanwhile, back at Yao's sect, everyone is watching the sky with dread. The storm clouds are gathering, thunder is rolling, and the tension is unbearable as the catastrophe approaches. When the disciples hear that their master received a treasure called a lightning protection rod from the great expert, they're confused but hopeful. They trust that whatever it is, it must be a divine artifact that can help him survive. Holding the divine rod, Yao Mengji's confidence surges. He feels invincible, ready to face the heavenly lightning head-on. And so it begins. The sky darkens, lightning flashes within the ominous clouds, and a terrifying pressure descends upon the mountain. But Yao sits calmly on the platform, ready for whatever comes. With the treasure gifted by the expert, he is absolutely certain of his success. Look at that confident smile. He's already picturing his ascension. However, when the first bolt of heavenly lightning strikes, everyone is stunned. The so-called protection rod didn't protect him at all. In fact, it acted like a lightning magnet, drawing the full force of the blast directly onto him. He gets instantly fried. While all that chaos is unfolding, it's a completely different scene back at our boy's place. A wild boar demon and a purple mouse demon are on guard duty, casually complaining about their lack of screen time in the last few chapters. Meanwhile, our boy is still deep in thought, perfecting his lightning diversion system. He figures a simple rod isn't enough. He needs something to actually attract the lightning from the sky. So, applying his modern knowledge, he makes a kite. The plan is to have someone fly it during a thunderstorm to guide the lightning to a safe spot. But this experiment is incredibly dangerous. Who will be crazy enough to do it? Right on cue, Dodgy volunteers, saying she has a friend who is tough and perfect for the job. And who does she call over? The wild boar demon. Our boy sees a monster and is understandably a little freaked out. When the wild boar hears he's being asked to help the great expert, he's terrified of getting struck by lightning, but he agrees anyway. After all, serving a being of such immense power is an honor. Our boy sees Dodgy getting along so well with the monster and thinks, wow, Dodgy is such a kind person, even monsters love her. He has no idea that in his presence, these powerful demons are as tame as kittens. With the preparations complete, our boy hands the kite over to Mr. Wild Boar. To the demon, this seemingly ordinary kite from a mortal feels like a death sentence. He's thinking, it's over for me. I'm gonna die for real. And so, on a dark and stormy night, the terrified wild boar is forced to begin the experiment, flying the kite while lightning flashes all around. Our boy and Daji watch from a safe distance. The boar is scared out of his mind, trying to reassure himself that if he just sticks to the plan, everything will be fine. But the terrifying sight of the lightning makes his whole body tremble. From the distance, Ling Yinfan yells, "It's coming," sending the boar into a full-blown panic. This isn't an experiment. It's a suicide mission. But strangely, after waiting for a while, the lightning just isn't striking. The boar is confused. Why isn't it working? Is this lightning? Picky? Just then, the purple mouse demon appears. She explains that this isn't ordinary lightning. It's celestial Tao lightning. It has a specific target, the person undergoing the tribulation, and it won't strike anyone else. The boar lets out a sigh of relief. So I'm safe. But then, realization dawns on him. If the lightning only strikes the one undergoing the test, that must mean, that's right, the target is none other than Old Man Yao. The poor guy, already betrayed by the protection rod, is now getting zapped relentlessly by the heavens, getting knocked right out of the sky. Our boy has no clue that his little unfinished invention almost got a powerful cultivator killed. He even gave the prototype rod to Yao, telling him to just play with it and not use it for anything important. The irony is killing me. Yao is getting absolutely pummeled by the lightning, screaming in agony while his disciples watch in horror, completely helpless. The disciples are trying to make sense of it all. The tribulation is twice as strong. The rod attracts lightning. They conclude their master must have angered the expert, and this is his punishment. Yao himself believes it too. He thinks Ling Yinfan has abandoned him to die. But just as he's about to give up all hope, he spots something in the night sky. The familiar bird-shaped kite, with words written on it. "Come over here." He recognizes it instantly. That powerful, elegant calligraphy. It's Master Li's handwriting. The expert hasn't abandoned him. He's being summoned. In that moment, Yao is moved to tears. He believes the expert is using the kite to guide him, to lead him through the tribulation to safety. Master Li hasn't given up on me. With his spirit rekindled, Yao Mengji flies desperately towards the kite, screaming, "Master Li, this old man is coming." The wild boar sees a flying, sparking old man charging at him and is absolutely terrified. Both demons recognize the man as Yao Mengji, the one undergoing the tribulation. The boar doesn't hesitate for a second and bolts. If that guy gets close, they'll both be turned to ash. And so, a ridiculous chase scene unfolds. Yao is chasing the kite, the lightning is chasing him, and the wild boar is running for his life on the ground below. And our boy, the mastermind behind it all, is just watching his experiment unfold with a serious look on his face. Our boy is ecstatic. My kite is bringing the lightning towards it. Physics never lies. Daji, ever the faithful follower, calmly adds, as expected, everything is under Master Li's plan. Only Ling Yinfan himself is worried that if the boar keeps running, his experiment will fail. Yao uses the last of his strength, screaming this old man is coming, as he finally closes in on the kite. The boar is still screeching, "Don't come near me." Finally, the lightning, Old Man Yao, and the wild boar all converge under the kite. A massive explosion follows, and then silence. After the tribulation ends, the wild boar slowly wakes up. He's alive, and next to him lies his savior, Old Man Yao. He's incredibly moved, believing Yao was an angel sent by the expert to help him share the burden of the lightning. Having successfully passed his tribulation, Yao is in a great mood. He tells the boar he's fine, except his hand is cooked. The boar looks down at his own trotter and lets out a blood-curdling scream. Just then, our boy and Daji arrive. Daji takes a whiff of the boar's cooked hand and says with a sweet smile, "Your hand smells nice." Hearing that even the revered celestial fox want a piece of him, the boar breaks down completely. The poor guy truly is the most tragic tool demon in history. All right, kicking off a new chapter. Let's check back in with our boy and see what kind of hilarious misunderstandings are brewing. Picking up right where we left off, Daji, ever the foodie, asks our boy if the experiment is over. "So, are we going to cook it?" The poor boar overhears and is absolutely flabbergasted. "Cook me?" Our boy, trying to be the responsible adult, tells Daji to stop joking around, but then he immediately mutters, "That hand did look kind of tasty though." Classic. He quickly changes the subject and thanks old Yao for his help with the experiment. Meanwhile, Daji turns to the boar and thanks him for his contribution. The boar, still traumatized, confesses, I'm actually terrified of monsters." "Bro, you are a monster." The irony is just too much. Our boy, completely oblivious, starts fangirling over the boar. "You're so intelligent. You have a passion for science." He's treating this demon king like a lab assistant. The boar, utterly confused by this human's logic, just hands over some healing medicine he had. And as a token of appreciation, our boy whips out a cabbage. Here you go, Mr. Wild Boar, for your troubles. Little does the boar know, that's not just any cabbage. That's a straight-up divine artifact. Dodgy is just smiling in the background, knowing exactly what's up. The boar, probably thinking waste not, want not, just chomps down on the cabbage. And immediately, hiccup, a burp so powerful it probably registered on the Richter scale. The spiritual energy is just exploding out of him. Night falls, and the boar is still sweating bullets, completely traumatized by Dodgy's comment. Did you smell the barbecue hand? Smells so good, he mutters. And look who's watching from the treetops, the nine-tailed fox herself, looking majestic as ever. Suddenly, a little white fox rushes in, calling for her sister. Sister, I got your signal. Dodgy quickly shushes her. Keep it down. You'll wake the master. The master's rest is always priority number one. The little sister starts complaining immediately. Ever since you met that guy, you don't pamper me anymore. She whines about how everyone tortures her during training, except for Brother Blackie. We get a hilarious flashback of Blackie the dog supervising her push-ups. Dodgy is having none of it and smacks her. You're just lazy. This is for your own good. After the tough love, Dodgy praises her sister's progress. You're almost an 8-tailed now. Not bad. The little fox then presents a gift. And look, old man Yao is just chilling in the background, enjoying the show. The gift is a corpse. A dead corpse, to be precise. Dodgy explains, if you eat this, you'll instantly become a 9-tailed fox. The little sister is absolutely disgusted by the idea. Turns out it's not a literal corpse, but some kind of spiritual treasure. The moment the little fox touches it, she gets zapped with energy, triggering her ancient bloodline. Boom! She starts absorbing the power, and tails start popping out. The transformation is beginning. The little fox is ecstatic, and everyone's celebrating her power-up. Time for a feast, Dodgy declares. Let's start eating. This crew never misses a chance for a good meal. Meanwhile, back at the Lin Immortal Palace, they're throwing a massive party. Old Yao's successful tribulation is a huge deal for the entire sect. The vibe is immaculate. Speaking of Old Yao, he's flying back home, feeling on top of the world. But as he gets closer, he sees the entire palace is decorated in white funeral drapes. The realization hits him like a ton of bricks. They're holding a funeral. For him. His disciples are all bawling their eyes out. The master failed his tribulation and was turned to ash. Just as they're deep in their mourning, Old Yao just casually walks up behind them. Talking about me? They turn around and are absolutely terrified. Absolute chaos erupts. Someone screams, "Ghost." His successor is in the middle of a heartfelt speech about carrying on his legacy. And as she's talking, Old Yao just pops up at the head of the funeral banquet table. His disciples look up, see him, and lose their minds. The bowl goes flying, and the screams are deafening. Ghost! Old Yao finally has enough. I'm not dead yet. The disciples are relieved, but now he's pissed. I was gone for a little while, and you already planned my funeral. Do you want me to be dead that badly? His clever disciple immediately goes into damage control mode. Master, don't be angry. Let's, turn the white cloths into red cloths and make this a celebration. Quick thinking, I'll give her that. And just like that, the mood flips 180 degrees. We can still use the musicians we hired. The somber funeral music turns into a lively party anthem, from tears to cheers in seconds. After calming down, Old Yao gets emotional. It's all thanks to the master's help. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have made it back. His disciple smiles. Master, speaking of good news, we have something to report to you two. The good news? They reconnected with their ancestor, Stila. But more importantly, the wild boar came back with a gift from the Fox Queen and her master, a cabbage. All that drama for a cabbage. Back with the demons, the boar is telling his story, crying his eyes out. The Fox Queen favored me. I faced tribulation lightning, and all I got was this stupid cabbage. The poor guy is having a meltdown. His friends try to console him. There, at least your hand smells really fragrant now. That is not the comfort he was looking for. The boar snaps. F*******. Your words are not comforting at all. In a fit of rage, he starts furiously eating the cabbage. Damn it. But as he eats, something incredible happens. He starts glowing. Big bro boar, you're shining. The others are shocked. It's a spiritual chi vortex. He's accidentally leveling up like crazy from our boy's normal cabbage. The power radiating from him is insane. He's going through a massive transformation. The green snake's jaw is on the floor. He's never seen anything like it. And get this, even his cooked hand, the one that got blasted by tribulation lightning, is healing right before their eyes. from a crispy pork trotter back to normal in seconds. Now that's what I call a power-up. He's broken through to the distraction stage, a level many demons only dream of. The others finally put two and two together. This is no ordinary cabbage. The now enlightened boar starts preaching to the other monsters, who are still eating raw meat. He describes the divine taste of the cabbage, the sweet, tender leaves, the crisp, juicy stalk. He's become a cabbage evangelist. He explains how the cabbage brought him inner peace and purified his senses, helping him cultivate. The other demons are inspired. Let's follow Big Bro Boar. We shall become vegetarian monsters. The green snake, still a bit skeptical, tries to sneak a bite of the remaining cabbage. But the boar is not having it. I risk my life for this. I'm not sharing. He's super protective of his holy cabbage now. Meanwhile, back at Green Cloud Valley, the ancestor Stela is glowing. They decide to perform a ritual to summon their ancestor, but it requires a blood sacrifice from the main family line. His daughter is worried because the patriarch, Gut Changqing, is still injured from a previous battle. But he's determined. This is our only chance to reach immortality. The sacrifice is worth it. With a look of sheer determination, he slices his own hand, letting the blood drip onto the stela to begin the summoning ritual. This is a high-stakes play. His children watch on, tense. There's a moment of silence, and then a blinding light erupts from the stela. It's working. The connection is being made. The light subsides, and a figure appears in the sky. An old man, their ancestor, has descended. Changqing, is it you who summoned me? He asks with a hearty laugh. Changqing is so shocked he can barely speak. Gragrantpa. It's really him. After all these years. The old ancestor just chuckles. Oh ho ho, long time no see, Changqing. It's a full-on family reunion. The great-grandchildren are introduced, and the ancestor is beaming with pride. You have a son and a daughter. Our Green Cloud clan is incredible. But the mood turns serious as Changqing explains the situation. The path to immortality was severed 3,000 years ago, and demons are trying to break their seal to harm the mortal world. Changqing reveals that his own father sacrificed himself to reinforce the seal. The ancestor looks at his grandson's injured arm and says softly, "You've worked hard, Changqing." He then tells his grandpa about the demon sealing ritual and how they were saved by a mysterious expert. We think he might be a saint. The ancestor is intrigued. The ancestor laughs it off. A saint in the mortal world? Impossible. They're just myths, even in the immortal realm. But his great-grandson, Ziyu, jumps in, "Great-grandpa, it's true." And then Ziyu goes on a full-blown fanboy rant. He wrote, "Journey to the West." His porridge gives instant breakthroughs. His paper cranes can kill high-level demons. His calligraphy can one-shot experts. He's super amazing. His sister just rolls her eyes. My brother is such a useless idiot. But their father cuts in. But everything he just said is true. The look on the ancestor's face is priceless. To prove it, Ziyu whips out the painting our boy gave them. "Great-grandpa, the expert gave us this. You'll understand once you see it." He unfurls the scroll, and a blinding light erupts from it. The power from the painting is so immense that the ancestor's spiritual projection starts to destabilize and gets sucked away. "Grandpa!" Changqing screams in horror. Total panic. The sister yells at her idiot brother. "What have you done?" The ancestor is fading fast. "Tell that idiot to close the painting, or I'll be gone for real." Ziyu, cries his eyes out, finally rolls up the scroll. "I'm sorry, great-grandpa, but it's too late." The ancestor's projection has completely vanished, his last words echoing. "Hurry, summon me again." Changqing is freaking out. They need way more blood to summon him again. He looks at Ziyu's other arm. Ziyu, ever the enthusiastic idiot, proudly flexes. "You need this arm too?" "No problem." They manage to summon him again, and the ancestor reappears, looking completely shaken. The power of that painting was no joke. "I can't believe such a divine being exists in the mortal world," he exclaims. His great-granddaughter, not getting the memo, offers to open it again for him. "Stop it, you moron!" he screams, nearly having a heart attack. Changqing is confused. "Grandpa, what's wrong with the painting?" The ancestor just laughs. "This painting is good. So good." Changqing is now even more confused. "I used so much blood to summon you, and you're just talking nonsense?" The ancestor explains. What they think is Dao flavor is actually divine adhesivity, a treasure even in the immortal world, capable of trapping divine spirits. He demonstrates by infusing it with power, and the scroll lights up, shocking everyone. The painting itself is a living thing, he reveals. He asks what it depicts, and Ziyu, the idiot, tries to open it again. Smack! The ancestor slaps him into next week. It's a painting of a three-legged golden crow. You fool. Opening it would be suicide. He continues his lecture, explaining that the three-legged golden crow is a divine beast of immense power, a creature of pure yang energy that can incinerate anything. He basically just saved them from being vaporized. The gravity of the situation sinks in. The person who drew this must be an ancient, unfathomable being. The ancestor realizes this is huge. I must report this to my master immediately. He then asks a crucial question about their clan's role in the heavens. He breaks it down for them. In the immortal world, it's all about connections. Their clan basically works as celestial civil servants. Sucking up to a big shot like this expert is way more important than mindlessly cultivating. It's not what you know, it's who you know. He hatches a plan. I'll go back and bring a divine beast for the expert. He even jokes, to make the expert happy, I'd even send my own great-grandma over. Then he prepares to leave. As he's about to ascend, he stops. I almost forgot. This painting is too important. I can't risk taking it. He hands the terrifyingly powerful scroll back to his descendants. You guys keep it safe. Bye. We get a nice establishing shot of the Azure Cloud sect, the place the ancestor is heading back to. Looks very celestial and peaceful. The ancestor, Protector Gu, is rushing back when a young girl stops him. Why the hurry? He tells her it's a huge deal. She replies, I know. I heard one of the Almighties has fallen. Protector Gu is stunned. He thought his news was the big scoop. The girl looks at him, confused. Is that not what you were talking about? He realizes there's another major event happening that he knew nothing about. The immortal world is a busy place. Meanwhile, in a completely different corner of the immortal world, the vibe is something else. Word has spread that Grandpa Gu is here, and look at this reception. The fangirling is absolutely off the charts. And here he is, Grandpa Gu himself, rolling in with gifts and some bombshell news. He announces that a certain great master is looking for a flying beast to be his mount. The opportunity of a lifetime. You can just feel the excitement in the air. The girls immediately start speculating. Should they be his wives? His mount? They don't care. They just want in. Then the purple-haired girl starts dropping some lore on our boy, Lin Yinfan, talking about how he lives in the mortal realm, how his casual words hold immense power, and how he can literally paint a sun into existence. They are completely starstruck. Grandpa Gu lays it on thick, telling them this isn't some everyday gig. If I wasn't a human, he says, I'd be first in line. He's really selling it. With the stakes raised, everyone agrees to let Sister Fire Sparrow take the lead. And speaking of Fire Sparrow, she makes her grand entrance, literally bursting into flames. She throws down the challenge. Who's brave enough to come with me to the mortal world for a little fun? This is their interview, people. The selection process gets serious. Grandpa Gu starts talking requirements, cultivation, bloodlines. The tension is high. But while they're busy with their divine tryouts, the scene shifts to the calm and peaceful spiritual sun lake. And what's our boy up to? Oh, nothing much. Just having the most awkwardly adorable date with Daji. Look at him, so flustered, admitting he's never been on a date before. Meanwhile, Daji's heart is pounding, wondering if this is what a date feels like. So wholesome. Nearby, the Fire Phoenix is having her own internal crisis. She sees how focused Daji is and wants to say something, but is too scared. If I disturb her, will she think I'm annoying? Girl, the struggle is real. Turns out Daji's so focused because she can't figure out how to fish. She gets so frustrated she's on the verge of tears, apologizing to our boy and begging him not to be angry. He's confused by her calling him master, but then he sees she's about to fall into the water. Dangerous. Our boy dives in for the classic hero saves the damsel moment. Look at that intense expression. He's going full-on protector mode. Phew, false alarm. He catches her just in time. Daji is still shaken up, worried that he might have fallen in. He gives her a serious look, and she immediately apologizes again. These two are just too cute. Just as the romantic tension is building, their moment is interrupted by an old man in a conical hat, rowing up to them. Hey there, kids. You here to fish too? Way to kill the mood, Grandpa. The old man immediately realizes his mistake. Oh my, did I disturb you guys? The look on our boys and Daji's faces is priceless. The awkwardness is palpable. The old-timer is quite the chatterbox. He starts complaining to our boy about how the spiritual sunfish have been abundant lately, but they've gotten too smart to catch. He's convinced there's something wrong with the fish. So the old man asks if our boy knows how to fish. Lin Yinfan humbly replies, I learned a little when I was bored at home. And the result? The moment his line hits the water, the fish go into a frenzy. The old man and Daji are just dumbfounded. This is what you call learn a little. The protagonist buff is real. Even our boy is confused. My bait can make a whole line of fish bite at once. This is too weird. The old man agrees, but you can tell he's thinking, buddy, our definitions of weird are on completely different planets. Little do they know, this is all part of a grand scheme. The purple-haired girl from before has ordered her pig demon subordinate to command all the fish in the lake to only eat Master Lee's bait and to try their best to get caught. Now that's what I call next-level simping. The fire phoenix senses something is off, warning the old man that the lake feels strange and potentially dangerous. And right on cue, a bunch of monstrous, electric-jawed fish appear in the water. Talk about an instant jinx. Our boy also gets a bad feeling, but the old man just laughs it off. Haha. Masterly, you love to joke. I fish here all the time, no problem. And then, splash. The boat capsizes. How's that for comedic timing? The fishing net goes haywire, creating a massive whirlpool that starts sucking everyone in. The old man is panicking, screaming at our boy, what's going on? How did your words become real so suddenly? It's called the passive skill of being the protagonist, my dude. In this moment of crisis, our boy pulls Dodgy close, holding her tight. Dodgy, don't be scared. We'll be fine. Okay, the man's got moves. Full marks for providing a sense of security. And now, our boy starts showing off his real skills. He calmly starts giving instructions on how to paddle, a skill he thankfully learned from that dog's hit system of his. See? The system comes in handy sometimes. He remains cool as a cucumber, instructing them to paddle with a whirlpool to build momentum. He waits for the perfect moment and then shouts, now. And just like that, they break free. That was some textbook-level crisis management. Once they're safe on shore, the old man is on his knees, completely in awe. Master Lee, you are amazing. Our boy tries to be humble. I just learned a little bit. The old man loses it. A little bit. What you did was unbelievable. Gotta love our boy, the master of the humble brag. Even though they survived, everyone feels like something is fishy. One moment, it was a life-threatening whirlpool, and the next, it's like nothing happened at all. What is going on with this spiritual sun lake? And just as they're wondering, another group of cultivators flies into the scene. They seem to be in a hurry, heading straight for the lake, looking for traces of the Almighty. Looks like this place is about to get very crowded. As night falls, more and more people gather by the lake, all discussing the recent major events. Turns out, the cultivation world has been shaken to its core. The Liu family was wiped out, their ancestor killed, and a literal hole was torn in the sky. Everyone's speculating that only Master Li could have such power. Some even think he's already ascended and left the mortal world for good. But just then, a little kid points and shouts, Father, look, isn't that? That's right. It's our boy Lin Yanfan. The crowd that was just mourning his potential departure instantly turns into a mob of screaming fans. Look at the hearts in their eyes. Master Li is back. Now that's what I call fan base. The moment they confirm it's Master Li, everyone's priorities change. Who cares about some Almighty's relic? Meeting Master Li in person is the real prize. And with that, they're out of there. Nobody wants to stick around this creepy lake any longer than they have to. Our boy runs into some old acquaintances, the Lins. Uncle Lin gets all emotional, saying it feels like an eternity even though it's only been a few months. But when he asks if Lin Yanfan is also interested in the relic of the Almighty, our boy is just completely bewildered. The what now? The second he hears relic of an almighty artifact, our boy's inner nerd completely takes over. This is straight out of the RPGs and novels he loves. Interesting. I'm interested. Look at him, all hyped up, with zero clue that he is the almighty they're talking about. Our boy immediately invites Dodgy and Fire Phoenix to join the treasure hunt. Of course they're interested, but they're also worried about the danger. Our boy puffs out his chest. With me around, what's there to be afraid of? His confidence might be misplaced, but you can't deny the charm. He's all ready to go, but the others stop him, reminding him that the monsters are stronger at night. Our boy thinks for a second and agrees. All right, we'll go in the morning then. Notarus. Love his chill attitude. When it comes to resting for the night, our boy pulls another trick out of his hat. He summons a boat from his system, explaining it's big enough to dock safely and they can all sleep on it. The girls are once again amazed by his seemingly limitless resources. And he's not done. He proceeds to pull out a whole set of household items. Tables, chairs, pots, pans, you name it. The girls have moved past surprise and are now in full-on worship mode, as expected of Master Li. Meanwhile, our boy just casually says, let's just make do with these for tonight. The level of unintentional flexing is off the charts. Meanwhile, the cultivators are looking at the ordinary boat our boy summoned, and they are absolutely terrified. The divine energy radiating from it is overwhelming. They immediately start setting up barriers to conceal its aura, fearing it will attract unwanted attention. At that very moment, some new, uninvited guests arrive at the lake. Looks like a rat and an ox demon. And surprise, surprise, they're also here for the Almighty's relic. The ox demon figures that by morning, the place will be swarming with cultivators. His plan? Strike tonight while no one's expecting it. But just as he's about to make his move, three mysterious figures appear to block his path. And who are these mysterious figures? A Shota, a lowly, and a mature one-Isen, all Taoists. What an interesting lineup. Yeah, tonight is definitely not going to be quiet. Faced with this strange trio, the Ox and Rat Demon brothers don't back down. The Ox Demon roars, "Enough talk. Let's fight for it with our own strength," and charges forward. It's about to go down. However, they quickly run into a problem, a massive barrier protecting the relic. The lowly Taoist explains that there are 3 barriers to cross, and if you're not strong enough, you can't even get past the first one. The Ox Demon doesn't listen and tries to brute force his way through. Bad idea. The barrier retaliates with a terrifying backlash. A phantom golden dragon emerges and severely injures him, even hitting his little rat brother. Tragically, the little rat demon dies on the spot. The Ox Demon holds his brother's body, completely devastated. It's in this moment he realizes that in a battle of this magnitude, they were nothing but cannon fodder. Little brother, the Ox Demon's roar of pure anguish echoes through the night. He's completely consumed by grief and rage. I will not let you die in vain. Fueled by vengeance, the Ox Demon unleashes all his power and makes another desperate charge at the barrier. The immense force of his attack seems to create a shockwave, affecting even Lin Yinfan and his group, who are sleeping peacefully on their boat. Our boy is still yawning, completely oblivious to the danger. But under the force of that impact, the chains anchoring his divine boat suddenly snap. Meanwhile, the Ox Demon is sent flying by the barrier again, crashing hard. He realizes this barrier is no ordinary obstacle. There's no way he can break it on his own. Having lost his brother and with no hope of revenge, the Ox Demon falls into despair. He decides to sacrifice himself for one final, all-out attack. A world without my little brother. I don't want it. Just as the Ox Demon is about to self-destruct in a final, desperate act, something completely unexpected happens. He stares in disbelief as a boat. Yep, a completely ordinary-looking wooden boat drifts uncontrollably towards the barrier. And then, plunk, it passes right through it, as easily as a pebble skipping on water. A moment of absolute silence. The Ox Demon and the 3 Taoists are just broken. Their minds are filled with question marks. The barrier they couldn't even scratch was just bumped into and passed by a random boat. This world makes no sense. The commotion finally wakes up Lin Yinfan. He groggily senses some demonic energy, opens his eyes, and what the F? A whole gang of demons is surrounding his boat. The Lin family and the others are also startled by this sudden development. What's going on? They have absolutely no idea what just happened. They look around in shock and realize they've somehow passed through the first barrier and are now inside the second one. Is this Master Li's doing? It's the only explanation that makes any sense to them. The 3 Taoists, however, see the Lin family standing on the divine boat and completely lose their cool. They start screaming at them to get off immediately, not to desecrate the holy vessel. Look at the little Shota. He's so nervous he's sweating bullets. The little lowly immediately gets on her knees to apologize, explaining they snuck aboard and hopes Lord Lin won't be angry. Her survival instincts are definitely top tier. But what's even funnier is the demon's reaction. Seeing these people standing on the boat, they don't attack. Instead, they rush over and start cleaning. They're wiping down the spots where the mortals stood. This bizarre behavior leaves everyone completely baffled. Lord Lin is nervously wiping his sweat, totally confused by the situation. After the demons are done cleaning, they see the humans are still just standing there, and they get furious. How dare you ignore us? The demons go berserk. They feel their goodwill has been ignored and their dignity challenged, so they launch a full-scale attack. Lord Lin has to protect his daughter as chaos erupts. The demons combine their powers for a massive attack. Lord Lin and his daughter can barely hold on, looking like they're about to be overwhelmed. The 3 Taoists join the fray, but the situation is still grim. They realize that even they're just cannon fodder in this chaotic battle. Even the powerful one-Isen Taoist gets knocked into the water. Is this really how it ends for all of them? Lord Lin is filled with anxiety. Their only hope is for Master Li to wake up. But he's also terrified that waking him up might put him in a bad mood. And a grumpy Master Li could be 1,000 times scarier than all these monsters combined. They make a pact. They must hold on until Master Li wakes up naturally. It's their only chance of survival. Right at this critical moment, a giant demon launches a massive punch straight at the cabin where Lin Yinfan is sleeping. And our boy, having just been woken up by the noise, has no idea what's coming, looking utterly confused. Just as that world-ending punch is about to crash down, the cultivators are absolutely losing their minds, screaming, "Stop." You just know they're thinking, "Dude, you have no idea who you're about to wake up." But the demon isn't listening, roaring that he'll kill them all. But right as his fist is about to connect, everything goes dead silent. The Demon King freezes mid-air, his ferocious roar turning into a look of pure confusion and terror. What in the world just happened? What did he see? Little does he know, inside the cabin, our boy's loyal dog, now in his badass Demon King form, is desperately trying to shake him awake. "Master, wake up. The world is ending out here." But nope, Lin Yinfan is completely knocked out, snoring away. The disrespect is real. Back outside, everyone is just staring, completely baffled. The Demon King himself is like, what just happened? Even the cultivators are wondering, did he get hit by something? The attack just vanished into thin air. All the surrounding demons are just frozen in shock, paralyzed with fear. And the cause of all this chaos? Our boy Lin Yinfan simply rolls over in his sleep. Bro just changed his sleeping position and accidentally negated a world-ending attack. A sheer, accidental flex. And that little movement was all it took. Suddenly, the entire boat starts vibrating and transforming. Alarms blare. Defense mode start. Dangerous beings detected. Oh yeah, they messed up now. They triggered the boat's security system. Radars pop up, locking onto every single demon in the vicinity. And before they can even process what's happening, launch. The boat unleashes a massive barrage of high-tech weaponry. This ain't no ordinary fishing boat, folks. The demons are getting absolutely obliterated by what looks like laser beams and missiles. The demon prince is screaming, "Father, what kind of spell is this?" And the king replies in terror, "This isn't a spell from our world." You're damn right it's not. This is sci-fi meets cultivation. It's pure, unadulterated chaos. The cultivators can only watch in awe as the boat's automated defenses just effortlessly wipe the floor with these supposedly terrifying demon kings. Talk about being overpowered. Boom. One after another, the demons are just getting vaporized. The sheer power on display is absolutely insane. As the dust settles, the cultivators are just sweating buckets. They finally get it. Is this the ramification of disturbing Master Li's sleeping time? Yup. You were worried about his bad mood? Turns out his boat has a bad mood too. The insane explosion has torn open a rift in space. And our cultivators know exactly what this means. It must be leading to the final barrier of the relics. The path has been cleared for them, courtesy of a sleepy boy and his overprotective boat. We get a quick recap. There are 3 barriers to get to the Almighty's relic. They're designed so only the strongest can pass. The weak get obliterated. They've already passed the first 2, but now they face the final challenge. And who, or what, is the guardian of this final barrier? They approach a massive gate, and a terrifying silhouette appears. It's time for the final boss. And yikes, look at that face. The guardian of the 3rd barrier is a horrifying monster with glowing red eyes. The vibe just went from sci-fi action back to fantasy horror real quick. The beast lets out a deafening roar, its sheer presence cracking the very ground beneath its feet. This thing looks absolutely terrifying. Turns out, this legendary guardian is a Heichi, a mythical creature of immense power. And right as it's making its grand entrance, Lin Yinfan's little boat just casually sails past in the background. The comedic timing is just perfect. The Heichi stops the cultivator, but instead of a fight, it issues a challenge. "Mortal, answer my question, and I will let you in." Okay, a riddle challenge. A classic. And to show he's not messing around, the Heichi gives them a vision of what happens if they get the answer wrong. Yeah, it's not pretty. Looks like a one-way ticket to Torture Town. The stakes are high. So what's the impossible, ancient riddle? The Heichi roars. Question, what do the pangolins say? And the cultivator's reaction is priceless. He just deadpants, cliché. The absolute nerve of this guy, calling a mythical beast riddle cliché. The Heichi is pissed. "Mortal, what are you laughing at? You know you'll face backlash if you're unable to answer." But the cultivator just loses it, laughing hysterically. He's not scared at all. Why? His daughter asks if he knows the answer, and he confidently says that this perplexing question that has troubled many might finally be answered today. It seems our boy Lin Yinfan has discussed this meme-level question before. The protagonist's halo is shining bright. Meanwhile, on the boat, Lin Yinfan is having a completely unrelated conversation. Daji asks him for an answer, and he just yells back, "Why would I?" He has no idea he's in the middle of a divine trial, feeding them the answers. The cultivator hears this, and it clicks. He roars, "This is my answer," and unleashes his ultimate attack, the Yang electric cannon. He's not just answering the riddle. He's using the answer as a battle cry. The attack somehow works, and the barrier is broken. Back on the boat, in a moment of perfect comedic timing, our boy smugly asks, "So what did the pangolin say?" while Daji just giggles. The ultimate troll. And with the barrier gone, the boat has floated into a new, mysterious area. Our boy finally peeks outside and completely freaks out. "What's going on? Where's this place?" "Welcome to the party, pal. You're a little late." Lin's daughter explains that thanks to him, they've passed the final barrier to the Almighty's relic. The treasure is right through that glowing portal in the sky. It's time to claim the prize. Our boy stares in awe. That is the Almighty's treasure. For the first time, he's seeing a real piece of this cultivation world's magic, and he's shook. With the path open, everyone makes a mad dash for it. The relics of the Almighty are finally within reach. The excitement is real. They enter an amazing, pristine land, a place only reachable after passing the third barrier. Daji is fangirling hard. "Wow, this is my first time being in such an amazing place. It's a whole new world." And what's the first treasure they find? A classic sword in the stone. They immediately recognize it's a celestial item, a weapon of incredible power. What a find. The cultivators explain just how big of a deal this is. A weapon of this caliber, similar to the Lin Palace's greatest treasure, could completely change the power balance of the entire cultivation world. This is a game changer. But that's not all. They also find a massive stone stele, pulsing with divine energy. This is an almighty stele, a direct link to a godlike ancestor. It's an artifact of immense religious and practical power for any sect. The monologue continues, emphasizing that even though the path to godhood is said to be cut off, a stele like this is still one of the most precious treasures in the world. It's a symbol of ultimate authority. They've found two world-changing artifacts, a legendary sword and a divine stele. And what's our boy's reaction? He looks completely unimpressed. The cultivators are freaking out. Master Li doesn't like it. His followers quickly try to do damage control. Daji explains, Master is just a mortal, so these items are meaningless to him. They're trying so hard to rationalize his lack of reaction, and it's hilarious. As they're debating, a shiny bee buzzes by. The cultivators immediately recognize it as a golden flame bee, an ancient and extremely rare species whose honey is a holy medicine for healing and cultivation. They warn that the bee is extremely dangerous and contains a deadly fire poison. And what does our boy Lin Yinfan do? He just casually catches it with his bare hands. Is this dangerous? I thought it was just a normal bee. The collective panic of everyone around him is amazing. He's just holding this deadly bee, wondering if he should let it go. Everyone is screaming, "H, don't come here." And then he casually points out, "Oh, but there are more coming towards us." And it's not just a few more bees. It's an entire swarm coming from a massive beehive in a nearby tree. The cultivators are lamenting their bad luck, knowing they can't possibly fight this many to get the precious honey. But Lin Yinfan, ever the connoisseur of fine things, gets an idea. If their honey is so good for cultivation, maybe it's finally his chance. Perhaps I, too, can cultivate immortality. Our boy just mutters, "What a pity. I was planning on taking a few back." And that's all the motivation his followers need. Daji immediately declares, "We have to help Master Li with taking the beehive back." And who gets volunteered for this suicide mission? Poor Lord Lin. His daughter looks at him with pleading eyes. He knows he's probably going to die, but he can't refuse the master's indirect request. The fangirling is real. His daughter literally cries and begs him, and the text even calls him a daughter slave. Faced with his daughter's tears, he has no choice but to accept. "Your father will do it now." Lin Yinfan, being a normal person, offers him some proper beekeeping equipment. But the others, trying to hype up Lord Lin. Immortal cultivators are great. You don't need mortal equipment. Poor Lord Lin gets peer pressured into going without it. They keep cheering him on. "You're awesome." So, with a face full of anger and regret, Lord Lin charges towards the beehive, screaming, "I can." And the result is exactly what you'd expect. He gets absolutely swarmed by thousands of angry, poisonous bees. He's getting stung into oblivion. The same people who hyped him up are now like, "If you can't do it, don't force yourself." A little late for that, guys. But somehow, through sheer willpower, he actually succeeds. He stumbles back, hive in hand, and presents it to Master Li, having caught them all. and then he immediately collapses. His daughter rushes to his side, screaming for her father. Mission accomplished, but at what cost? Lin Yinfan, the only competent mortal here, immediately calls for the emergency kit. Daji, ever the helpful one, runs to get it. Next scene, poor Lord Lin is wrapped head to toe in bandages like a mummy. But he's alive, and he's thanking Master Li for saving him. The irony is delicious. The daughter thanks Lin Yinfan profusely, while our boy is just confused about why these cultivators are so weirdly fragile. The misunderstanding comedy continues. With their treasures, the sword, the steel, and the beehive secured, our crew sails off into the sunset. Lin Yinfan laughs. You guys are funny. Let's go home. What an adventure. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the young lady of the Lin Immortal Palace is trying to read in peace when a sudden commotion startles her. Annoyed, she calls out, Ziyu, please be quiet. We see a guy getting absolutely bullied by a fiery bird. He cries out, It's not my fault, sister. This is the fire sparrow we promised to give to Master Li. It's fierce. It keeps hitting me. The sister coldly replies, What I meant to say is that you should keep your mouth shut. The guy immediately covers his mouth, but the sparrow ain't having it. It unleashes a ring of fire on him. This bird's got some serious attitude. Turns out, this is no ordinary sparrow. It's some kind of divine beast, and it's absolutely furious about being brought to the mortal world. How dare he bring me down here? He's going to be so dead. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. This arrogant bird just keeps running its beak, calling everyone trash and insignificant plankton. It absolutely refuses to believe there could be any kind of expert in the mortal world. Soon, they arrive at Master Li's courtyard. The sister warns the bird to drop the attitude, but it's still boasting about its phoenix bloodline. And yet, when it sees Lin Yinfan's simple home, it calls it simple and cute. Huh, maybe this bird has some taste after all. While they wait, the brother gets curious. Father says that Master Li killed the Almighty of the Liu family. Where's the dead body then? That's a good question. A very important question, as we're about to find out. His sister begins to explain a huge secret of the cultivation world. Apparently, because of some changes in heaven and earth, the immortals above cut off the path to longevity, preventing anyone else from ascending. Basically, to become an immortal, you need something called divine qi. But the production of divine qi has been dwindling, so the existing immortals decided to hoard all for themselves, shutting the door on everyone below. The immortal world essentially sacrificed the cultivation world to protect themselves. And because of that, the road to longevity was cut off. No new immortals. End of story. But little do they know, as they're discussing this world-shattering secret, another group is hiding in the bushes, eavesdropping on them. This is getting messy. Now, they're worried they're going to get silenced for knowing too much. The sister continues, saying that now, cultivators have no chance of becoming immortal. Unless. She leaves him hanging on the cliff. Unless what? The brother asks impatiently. And that's when the arrogant bird on his head speaks up, revealing the shocking answer. Unless we have the dead body of the Almighty. And there it is. The corpse of a god is the key. Wait, the dead body of the Almighty? Yup, you heard that right. His sister lays it all out. These corpses are juiced up with divine qi, the one-way ticket to becoming an immortal. And you can see the gears turning in his head. Hold on. So to become immortal, we have to kill one of these god-tier beings. The logic is brutal, but that's the law of the land now. But is that even possible? Can you really just go out and kill a god? Well, his sister drops another bomb. Someone already did it. And just like that, everyone's mind flashes to one person, our boy Master Li. It all clicks. That's why our parents keep telling us to get on his good side. He's a guy who pulled it off. Meanwhile, the bird squad in the bushes is having their own little debate. The chicken is all in, saying Master Li is their key. But the blue bird is skeptical, thinking, what are these idiots talking about? The chicken gets defensive, as if a mere mortal could kill an almighty. Oh, the irony. But then someone brings up that little incident with the Liu family's almighty, the one who got absolutely wrecked after landing in the mortal world. And suddenly, the blue bird's like, oh, right, that guy. Speaking of experts, the eavesdropping party finally decides to show themselves. They come out of the bushes and greet the other girls, all friendly-like. Hey, Sister Chin, thanks so much for the experts' help back there. Everyone's all smiles now that the secret's out in the open between them. And they start dropping even more insane stories about our boy. Apparently, Master Li helped the palace master of Lin Immortal Palace pass God's test. The goose thing completely loses its mind. Pass God's test. How is that possible? Because, you see, in this world, if you help someone with their divine trial, you both get hit by the lightning. It's a double suicide mission that not even the Almighty can survive. The girl just smirks, so you get it now. The flex is real. But the chicken detective isn't buying it. Sunglasses on, it dramatically declares, there is only one truth. You're all acting. Someone put you up to this. Then it has a massive eureka moment, laughing maniacally. It all makes sense now. But its detective fantasy gets cut short when someone calls it a chicken. It completely flips out. The girl has to step in and clarify. He's not just a chicken, he's a fire sparrow with celestial phoenix blood, a gift from Masterly. The ego on this bird is unreal. Just after they hype up its noble bloodline, someone points out it's too small to even be a proper mount. And this fire sparrow just can't take the disrespect. It gets so triggered that it just breathes fire everywhere, scaring the fangirls half to death. This bird has zero chill. After transforming, the fire sparrow starts showing off its superiority complex. It looks down on everyone. Mortals seeking longevity? Isn't that just something everyone is born with? As expected of trash from the mortal world. The arrogance is off the charts. Little does it know, the expert it's about to meet is the final boss of longevity. With the fire sparrow going wild, the situation spirals out of control. The girls immediately turn on each other, playing the blame game. Seize her. This is all your fault. Just a minute ago, they were besties. Now it's every woman for herself. All they really want to know is just how amazing this legendary expert truly is. This is getting serious. Someone's worried that if they make the expert angry, it's game over for the entire world. So the blame game intensifies. You're the one who brought that bird here. It followed me on its own. Not my fault. Looks like a full-on brawl is about to break out. How are they going to solve this? The sister tries to guilt-trip her brother. You're a grown-up now. You should take some responsibility. But he's not falling for it and fires back. Sister, that bird was yours to begin with. Without missing a beat, she plays dumb. What? Girls don't have birds. And so begins the most ridiculous argument ever. It's your bird. Bullshit. That's your bird. Right in the middle of their squabble, a golden light descends from the sky, enveloping the entire area. This mysterious power is clearly coming from the expert's courtyard. Meanwhile, that arrogant fire sparrow, still showing off outside, flies headfirst into a tree in the yard, only to discover something shocking. Missing panel. Let's take a look at the daily life in our expert's yard. There's a dog of lowly bloodline, a fat turtle, and a white phoenix just yawning. To our boy, these are just your average pets. Little does he know, every single one of them is a demon king-level beast that could dominate an entire region. The moment the fire sparrow enters the yard, its jaw drops. The very air here is thick with Taoist flavor. A random cabbage is basically an elixir. A random tree is a demon in the making, and even a tiny seedling gives off an aura that terrifies it to its core. Is this the mortal world or the realm of the gods? Missing panel. The fire sparrow's entire worldview is being shattered. It's thinking, I wouldn't even dare to imagine a place like this in the immortal world. If you cultivate it here, forget being a phoenix descendant. Even a metal tree could bear fruit, and a pig could learn to fly. And that's when it sees the smiling tree in the yard. It gets so scared it screams, "Who's there?" Meanwhile, outside the yard, the chaotic siblings are still arguing over who owns it. It's your bird. Bullshit. That's your bird. The contrast is just hilarious. Suddenly, a beam of light hits the fire sparrow, sending it crashing into that creepy tree. But the weirdest part? It phases right through the trunk and lands on the ground completely unharmed. Is this tree an illusion or some kind of barrier? Everyone is stunned. The brother rushes over and grabs the trembling fire sparrow, threatening it fiercely. The once arrogant bird is now scared out of its mind, crying like a baby, "You scared me. I hate you." It's weeping while thinking, how can a place like this exist in the mortal world? These people are monsters. They all agree to give the bird to Master Li to be his mount, putting it to good use. And right on cue, our boy Li Nianfan shows up carrying a bundle of firewood with Daji. Seeing so many people at his gate, he greets them cheerfully. "Hey, you've been here for a while." Our boy thinks they brought him a gift of wild game and politely says, "You guys are too kind. You don't have to bring game every time you visit." Everyone's confused, game, and the fire sparrow, hearing this, has a complete breakdown. "You mean me? I don't even qualify as a pet. I'm going to be eaten." Seeing these powerful cultivators struggle to catch a single chicken, Li Nianfan is speechless. He can't help but ask, "You guys can't even control this chicken?" The ladies just laugh awkwardly, thinking, "Bro, this is not a normal chicken." Our boy steps in, and it's a masterclass. He effortlessly grabs its wings. "See? Just hold it like this, and it can't break free." The ladies are instantly impressed, total fangirl mode. Li Nianfan then critiques it. "This chicken screams pretty well. The meat must be tender." The fire sparrow inside is losing its mind, begging for its life. Give me a chance. Concubine or mount. I can do it. After securing the ingredient, Lin Yinfan has his robot Xiao Bai serve up some drinks he made. It's a Sprite-like lemonade, but our boy added some castor sugar that he grew himself. To these cultivators, that sugar is probably some god-tier spirit plant. Lin Yinfan feels refreshing water is a bit plain, so he decides to upgrade the name to Divine Refreshing Water. Sounds way cooler, right? Little does he know, adding the word divine carries immense weight for these cultivators. Just look at their shocked faces. The effect of this divine water is instantaneous. Sister Chin takes one sip, and the spiritual energy in her body surges like a massive wave, completely, soaking her clothes. The situation gets super awkward, and Lin Yinfan is just staring, wondering what on earth is wrong with this girl. The other girls start having similar reactions. It's like they're all going through some kind of trial as their spiritual power goes haywire. But instead of being embarrassed, they're absolutely thrilled. So this is what a drink from the expert does. The kick is insane. After serving his guests, Lin Yinfan gets back to work on his beehive. He thinks these are just ordinary bees, completely unaware that these little guys he's raising are legendary creatures in the cultivation world. And of course, the girls recognize them immediately. These aren't just any bees, they're the legendary golden flame bees. And our boy just casually explains, "Oh, these? I just passed by an Almighty's relics and brought some home." The casual flex is absolutely god tier. Almighty's relics? Passed by. Brought some home. Each of those phrases is like a bomb going off in the girls' minds. The world of a top-tier expert is just beyond their comprehension. Look at their faces. They are completely and utterly thunderstruck. The brother who was arguing earlier is so overwhelmed by these consecutive bombshells that he just flies away. He feels like his heart can't take it anymore. Meanwhile, our boy happily announces his plan. Perfect. I'll make some honey-roasted chicken, for everyone. Everyone's brains just short-circuit again, using the honey of golden flame bees to roast a descendant of the fire phoenix bloodline. The sheer luxury of it is insane. This is a dish that not even the Almighty would dare to dream of eating. This is just too exciting. No time to waste. Lin Yinfan tells Xiao Bai to boil some water so he can kill the chicken and pluck its feathers. The girls are both excited and a little worried. Are they really going to eat a divine bird? Won't they be punished by the heavens? But then they remember it's being cooked with golden flame honey, and they can't help but drool. The girls are completely sold. They feel that even if it costs them some cultivation, getting to taste Master Li's cooking is totally worth it. Back in the coop, the other chickens are seriously discussing which one of them will be the sacrifice. The mood is hilariously tragic. Our boy places the fire sparrow down, ready for the first step of prepping a chicken, letting the blood drain. To him, this is just routine cooking. But to the fire sparrow and everyone watching, this is the beginning of the end for a divine beast. As the knife is about to fall, the fire sparrow realizes it can't count on those fangirls anymore. It has to save itself. A powerful will to survive erupts, and it decides to go all out. Cornered and desperate, the fire sparrow has only one thought. I have to prove my value as a pet. If I'm useless, then death is my only option. The survival instinct is cranked up to the max. Missing panel. In a moment of life or death desperation, the fire sparrow has a stroke of genius and lays an egg. This divine move leaves Lin Yinfan stunned. He's caught in a dilemma. He promised everyone honey-roasted chicken, but now that it can lay eggs, it seems like a waste to kill it. This is going to be hard to explain. Seeing that its plan is working, the fire sparrow doubles down on production. In a burst of holy light, it starts laying egg after egg. Now everyone is truly amazed. Who would kill a chicken that lays fire sparrow eggs? This thing is a walking treasure chest. The girls immediately change their tune. This chicken can lay eggs. It's a pity to kill it. They quickly make up an excuse about having urgent business to attend to and make a swift exit. Their ability to switch sides is faster than turning a page. Lin Yinfan politely sees his guests off, then closes the door with a look of resignation. What was supposed to be a nice dinner party ended with everyone leaving abruptly. What a mess. He has no idea he just missed out on the chance to eat a god-tier meal. Meanwhile, the girls who left are ecstatic. They may not have gotten roasted chicken, but they received a fire sparrow's egg and golden flame bee honey from Master Li. This haul is way better than any meal. They decide to hurry back to their sect to report to their master. But in their excitement, they completely forgot about their poor brother. Watching his sisters fly away as streaks of light, the abandoned boy is left speechless. The sibling bond is strong with this one, not. Back in the courtyard, Daji asks if they're still killing the chicken. Lin Yinfan says no, and decides to use the eggs the fire sparrow just laid to make some scrambled eggs with tomatoes. The fire sparrow, having just escaped death, is horrified by this announcement. How cruel! They're going to eat its children right in front of it. The process may have been cruel, but the result is delicious. Lin Yinfan and Daji are enjoying the meal, praising how different and tender eggs from the immortal world are. The fire sparrow watches from the side, and even though its heart is bleeding, it smells the aroma and has to admit, the cooking is actually amazing. Oomph. After eating its children, Lin Yinfan goes to comfort the fire sparrow, feeding it porridge and promising to take good care of it. The bird pulls a classic Sundra move, saying it's a great shame to have my eggs eaten by a lowly creature, while its body honestly accepts the food. And just like that, the noble fire sparrow is gradually won over by the power of good food. It even starts cooking for itself, becoming a self-sufficient member of the household. That's a pretty fast character development arc. Even Daji is full of praise after eating its cooking. The fire sparrow acts all modest. It's not too bad, I guess, but you can tell from its expression that it's secretly pleased. Looks like it has fully adapted to its new life as the expert's personal chef chicken. The scene changes, and we find ourselves in a small town where the people seem to be suffering from some strange illness. They're all in terrible pain. And that's when a mysterious figure in a robe and a wide-brimmed hat arrives. Is he here to solve this crisis? Turns out, this mysterious figure sits down and starts storytelling. Of course, it's our boy Lin Yinfan again. Today's topic, the chapter from Journey to the West, where Sun Wukong wrecks the underworld and erases his name from the Book of Life and Death. Saving the world through storytelling. Classic masterly move. Meanwhile, in another desolate town ravaged by the plague, a young storyteller is hitting a snag. An old man urges her to leave, pointing out that the place is practically a ghost town with no audience. But look at the fire in her eyes. She's not leaving until the story is finished. The girl retorts that her story will make people unafraid of the plague. But the old man shuts her down hard. People are dying. Who has time for wisdom? Can you eat wisdom? Can it cure diseases? Just then, a mysterious scholar with sunglasses chimes in. What if I say that it can? You know that cool, all-knowing vibe? It can only be our boy. As the sun sets, the girl is lost in thought. She's starting to doubt herself. Can mortals truly overcome the boundary of life and death? Are her stories destined to fail? She can't help but wonder. If Masterly were to witness this, what would he do? Yep, she's officially part of the Masterly fan club. She debates whether to go ask Masterly for his opinion. Worried he'll just despise her. Little does she know, a much bigger crisis is brewing. Suddenly, a roar echoes from the distance. Lord Demon God has descended. And just like that, the entire vibe of the town takes a dark turn. In the town square, a giant demon statue erupts from the ground, engulfed in purple flames, and the desperate townspeople are actually worshipping it. A few cultivators watch from afar. A disciple asks, "Master, are they praying to the devil?" The old master sighs. The plague is incurable. In their despair, mortals will turn to anything for hope, even a devil. The old master breaks down the demon's entire scheme. They pretend to offer protection while secretly spreading the plague even further. They're farming the mortals' faith and despair to gather power, all with the end goal of summoning a demon general to conquer the mortal realm. That's a dirty playbook. Seeing that every citizen is now corrupted by demonic energy, the master makes a heavy decision. This city can't be saved anymore. His disciples are horrified, begging him not to, arguing that if he slaughters the town, he'll not only bear the sin of immense killing, but also be corrupted by the demonic energy himself. But his mind is made up. He's already looking past his own life and death. Sword. The old master bellows, preparing to unleash his ultimate move. He declares to his disciples that he's willing to sacrifice his very Tao heart to eradicate the demons here. This is at a moment of tragic heroism. With his sword in hand, a pillar of sword energy shoots into the sky. He's about to purify this corrupted city with overwhelming force. This is his final duty, his ultimate responsibility as a cultivator. The next second, a world-ending beam of light descends, engulfing the entire street. The demon-controlled villagers scream as they're vaporized. With one strike, he has severed the evil, but also stained his hands with blood. After the flash, an eerie silence falls over the town. Under the starry sky, there's no sign of life, as if nothing ever happened here. At that very moment, the storyteller girl is walking barefoot down a path. She looks up and sees a streak of light cross the sky, and before she can process it, she's blinded by a brilliant flash. She has no idea a tragedy has just unfolded. To the cries of his disciples, the old master flies off towards the dead city. He made the hard choice, sacrificing all the villagers to eradicate the demonic threat. But is it really over? As he lands on the empty streets, a light rain begins to fall, as if the heavens themselves are weeping for the lost souls. A somber atmosphere hangs heavy over the town. His disciples catch up to him, exclaiming, "Master, you did it." But there's no joy on the old man's face, only guilt. He decides he must pay for this sin with his own life, lamenting that cultivators are always selfish, seeking only their own immortality. Today, he's going to break that mold. The master confesses that the path to immortality is broken, and he's lost the will to live. He will use the last of his cultivation to protect the people of this land, asking his disciples to give all the villagers a proper burial. A great expert falls, a truly poignant moment. But amidst this sorrowful atmosphere, a paradise suddenly materializes before the storyteller girl's eyes. Lotuses bloom, spiritual energy abounds. And in the middle of it all, a familiar figure approaches. And Masterly, that's right, our boy always shows up at the most crucial moment, and always in style. The girl is so excited she can barely speak, thinking she's hallucinating from missing him too much. She excitedly reports to Lin Yinfan that she's been spreading his wisdom by telling the story of Journey to the West on her travels. The fangirling is real, folks. She confesses her troubles to Lin Yinfan, how her audience is shrinking and she feels she hasn't truly grasped the wisdom he's trying to convey. She brings up the story of Buddha sacrificing himself to feed tigers, seeking its deeper meaning. Looks like she's hit a creative wall. Lin Yinfan doesn't answer directly. Instead, he asks her, "What do you see?" She answers, "A dead person?" He gives her a look that just screams, "You're really stupid," and tells her to look again. Suddenly, a holy light shines, and the image of the old master overlaps with that of the Buddha. An expert's guidance is always so cryptic and profound. In the vision, Lin Yinfan sternly questions her. "You ignored the plague and suffering around you. You ignored the dead bodies. Is focusing only on your story your true path?" Now that's a soul-searching question. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the old master's disciples are about to bury the villagers. But they suddenly realize something is wrong with the bodies. One of them notices in horror that the corpses are still teeming with demonic energy. No sooner had he said it than all the corpses on the ground rise up, wreathed in purple, demonic chi. They are alive. Holy shit. The disciples are completely stunned. This isn't coming back to life. This is a full-blown zombie apocalypse. In the blink of an eye, the disciples are surrounded by the demonized villagers, trapped and in deep trouble. Did their master die for nothing? This plot twist came out of nowhere, hitting them like a freight train. The disciples quickly realize these people are already dead. They're just puppets controlled by demonic energy. But the big question is, didn't their master sever the demonic source? Why is this still happening? The answer reveals itself soon enough. Not only was the demon statue not destroyed, but it's now spewing out even more powerful demonic energy. A terrifying demonic shadow coalesces within the miasma. The real mastermind is about to make their entrance. A crack leading to the demon realm tears open, and out comes a small, lowly-type demon riding a giant monster. She licks her lips, intoxicated. Oh my, the life force in the human realm is so tasty. Oh, this one looks like a real handful. This little demon, who calls herself Wawa, introduces herself without even being asked and lays out the whole evil plan. Anyone who had faith in the demon lord belongs to the demon realm after death, body and soul. For a villain, she's quite the chatterbox. And to make matters worse, she starts opening even more portals to the mortal realm. As more mortals turn to the demon lord for faith, the number of gateways for invasion increases. A catastrophe that will engulf the entire realm is about to begin. The little demon Wawa looks on with glee at her masterpiece, while the disciples have fallen into complete despair. Their master's sacrifice wasn't just in vain. It feels like he just opened up an all-you-can-eat buffet for the enemy. Seeing the controlled zombie villagers are now strong enough to carry bricks is just mind-blowing for the disciples. Faced with an endless horde of demons, they know they stand no chance even if they fight together. This is a complete curb-stomp battle. But Wawa isn't satisfied yet. She sets her sights on the lingering spirit of the old master, aiming to completely obliterate his soul. "Master!" The disciples scream in horror. This is beyond cruel. She's not just desecrating a corpse. She's trying to erase his very soul. Boom! A massive explosion rocks the area. Wawa's attack was blocked by a mysterious force. A figure stands within the smoke. The storyteller girl squints, then cries out in shock, "Why you are?" That's right. The one who saved the day is none other than the scholar in the straw hat, the one our storyteller girl considers her master. He casually remarks, "I'm just a random scholar." Oh, the classic humble brag. He's so good at it. And we cut away to see what our boy is actually doing. He's playing Go with Dodgy, praising her improvement and suggesting a walk to celebrate. Look at this peaceful life, a complete contrast to the chaos and fighting happening elsewhere. Back on the battlefield, Wawa is absolutely furious. Having her attack blocked is a huge blow to her ego. Who's that? How dare you block Wawa's attack? I'll blow you up into pieces. She is completely losing it. Just then, it clicks for one of the disciples. He points at the scholar and shouts, "I remember it now. He's the storyteller of Wu Cheng'en." Dude, he just called it by the author's name. The storyteller girl quickly clarifies, "I'm not Wu Cheng'en. I'm just his young scholar." But these cultivators don't care about the details. They've already gone into full-on overthinking mode, believing every word, even every punctuation mark from this young scholar, contains profound Tao. And our young scholar is really getting into character. He starts giving out pointers, handing one disciple a book and telling him to read it 300 times, then gives another to the lingering spirit of the old master. He's playing the part perfectly. And the crazy part is, someone actually has an epiphany on the spot, shouting, "I finally understand," while the guy next to him is just confused. What did you understand? Is this the power of overthinking? The young scholar gives a passionate speech, vowing to act in Master Li's stead to slay demons and save the people. Just as everyone is getting hyped up, someone shouts, "Look out behind you." My back. In that moment of hesitation, Wawa's sneak attack lands. After the explosion, she emerges from the smoke, taunting, "Don't you know you're not allowed to be distracted while fighting?" But the scholar claps back immediately. "And don't you know you're not allowed to interrupt when someone is talking? Your fundamentals suck. Go back and read it 3,000 times." He even snatches back the book she tried to grab. That comeback was pure cultured ownage. He then calmly makes a hand gesture and utters a single word, "Disappear." And with that, he turns and walks away like a total boss, leaving the giant monster behind him to actually obey and release Wawa. This move completely stuns everyone present. He is so strong. The disciples' jaws are on the floor. The demons scatter in chaos. Is this what an agent of the protagonist's aura looks like? Just then, a mysterious figure with an eye patch arrives, only to find the battle is already over. "I was too late," he laments. Meanwhile, the real big shot Li Nianfan is at a local stall giving the owner a small gift, completely oblivious that he's been imagined as the savior of the world again. Bathed in a holy golden light, the spirit of the old master holds the sacred text and begins to chant, seemingly finding peace and ascension. And amidst the shower of golden light, the young scholar completes his mission. This tale of salvation, sparked by Journey to the West, finally comes to an end. However, the crisis is far from over. Elsewhere, two demon sisters are celebrating their successful invasion of the immortal dynasty, preparing to welcome their demon lords. It seems a bigger storm is still on the horizon. While flying, they suddenly spot a massive pillar of light in the distance. "Sister, look over there. Could that be the light of the fallen demon sword?" A new treasure has appeared, and these two demon sisters are instantly intrigued. They figure if they can find this sword and offer it to their lord, it would be a huge achievement. But they're not stupid. They know a phenomenon this big will attract others. They'll have to be careful. But when they follow the light to its source, they're both dumbfounded. This isn't some sacred grotto. It's just an ordinary mortal's courtyard. This looks like a mortal's home. Oh boy, they've just stumbled into the final boss's room, thinking it was the tutorial area. As they're puzzling over this, a giant pig demon emerges from the courtyard and invites them with a creepy smile. "Sisters, would you like to have a conversation in the forest?" Seeing that familiar face and that sinister grin, you just know these two are in for a bad time. Cutting to another scene, we see a carriage on the road. Inside is Prince Zhou Yunwu of the Xixia dynasty. Despite being gravely ill, he's determined to find a legendary expert to save his kingdom from the chaos of demons and cults. The prince starts coughing up blood again, and his attendant begs him to rest. But the prince is resolute, saying his illness is nothing compared to his mission. Finding the expert to save his people is the top priority. You gotta respect his determination. They make camp in the wilderness to rest, but suddenly a guard shouts, "Who's there?" Looks like trouble has found them. And out jump three self-proclaimed robbers, but they're the least intimidating robbers ever. They start crying about how they haven't had a decent meal in 6 months. This isn't a robbery. It's a plea for charity. Is the bar for being a bandit this low nowadays? The guard tries to scare them off by hinting at the prince's identity, but the purple-haired girl leading the group isn't having it. Instead, she starts listing off every luxurious detail of the carriage like an expert appraiser. Top-grade wood, priceless curtains, 100-year-old pearls. This robber knows her stuff better than a salesman. Just as the guard is about to reveal who's inside the carriage, he gets taken out in a flash. Okay, so these bandits aren't just all talk. They've got the skills to back it up. The purple-haired girl holds up her blood-stained sword and declares, "There's only a large, fat sheep in the carriage." As soon as she says it, her companion rushes forward. A fierce fight is about to break out. But then, something completely unexpected happens. Just as the purple-haired girl tries to threaten the prince for his money, he casually flicks her sword away with his fan. She's stunned speechless, barely able to finish her sentence. The two guards next to him literally faint from fear. This sickly prince is a hidden expert. So right after that insane display of power, our prince suddenly clutches her chest, complaining about feeling dizzy. The bandits are completely thrown off. I mean, one second she's an untouchable master, the next she's acting all frail. And she has the nerve to call them pitiful? The confusion is real. And it gets weirder. She tells the bandit girl, "You're the pitiful one, because being a bandit must be so tough." Then she just gives her money. She's literally paying the person who tried to rob her. Look at their faces. They have no idea how to process this. Is this a robbery or a charity event? Fueled by her own righteousness, she launches into a full-blown heroic speech about changing the world, complete with dramatic backdrops. But the real comedy gold is the kids in the corner literally asking, "Where did this weirdo come from?" Oh, the brutal honesty of children. With her dramatic speech concluded, she hops back into her carriage in a hurry, claiming she's off to find the expert. She leaves the bandits completely dumbfounded, with one guy yelling, "What about my dead men?" And she just yells back, "Bury them as penance for your sins," and rides off. Cold. And you think she was kidding? Nope. She goes on a full-blown charity tour, giving away money to anyone who looks like they need it. The result? She ends up completely broke. Look at her face when she realizes her wallet is empty. A certified holy moment. Meanwhile, back in Fallen Divine Town, our boy Li Nianfan is blissfully unaware, just having a great time eating steamed buns with Dodgy. He's laughing his head off until BAM. A giant hand slams down on their table out of nowhere, scaring the soul out of them. Talk about a mood killer. And who is it? It's none other than the group from before. The second they see Li Nianfan, they lose their minds, acting like they've just found their savior. Tears, shouting the works. They're all screaming, "Expert." The situation is getting chaotic. And guess who shows up at Li Nianfan's table? It's our prince, looking less like royalty and more like she just crawled out of ditch. She starts choking on her food and introduces herself, and our boy is just like, "A prince? Bro, you look more like a beggar." The secondhand embarrassment is real. This prince, who's clearly a girl in disguise, starts showering Li Nianfan with praise and then bows deeply, calling him masterly. Our boy is just sighing internally, thinking, "I'm just a normal dude." But the prince gets straight to business, talking about how demons are running rampant in the Four Seas. She goes on, explaining how evil cults are tricking villagers into summoning demons, causing plagues with no cure. Li Nianfan is just listening, confused, until he hears the word plague. Suddenly, a light bulb goes off in his head. He's heard of this. The prince tearfully explains that despite being royalty, she has no cultivation talent. She has the heart to save her people, but lacks the power. Hearing legends of Master Li's miraculous abilities, she traveled all this way for help. Even the narrator is moved, admitting that while her methods are a bit extreme, her determination is impressive. Our boy totally relates to her plight. She's just like me, he thinks, a mortal who wants to help but can't. But while he's pondering what he could possibly do, the prince drops a massive stack of books on the table. It's all the research, victim details, everything. Li Nianfan is stunned. Isn't this a bit much? And she's so proud of it too. She explains she donated all her travel money just to transport these books safely. We get a flashback of her struggling with the cart. And yeah, it's a lot. Our boy praises her willpower, saying she doesn't seem sick at all. The very next second, she starts choking again. Li Nianfan immediately thinks, "Okay, I take it back. This person is a total fool." Despite his inner monologue, Li Nianfan agrees to help and starts studying the documents. Meanwhile, remember those 3 bandits the prince reformed? Well, they've been sitting outside a restaurant all day because they have no money and the owner is about to lose his mind. After some serious research, our boy uses his modern knowledge to write up a prescription. He explains it's safe and will boost immunity, but he'll need to see the patients to fine-tune it. The prince holds the prescription like it's a divine artifact, her eyes sparkling. To her, this is the work of a true master. The prince thanks him profusely. Lin Yinfan casually asks if she's going to ask cultivators for help. And she's like, of course, they're super powerful. His expression gets a little weird at that. Just then, his disciples return, and it's clear something major has happened outside. And yep, the situation is worse than they thought. The devils are causing chaos in the seas. The plague is spreading like wildfire, and it's not just mortal towns being destroyed. Even some cultivation sects have been wiped out. A dark cloud hangs over the entire world. Faced with this catastrophe, the immortals are shockingly arrogant, basically saying mortals don't matter and the descent of the devils is the real issue. But the irony is, it's precisely because the immortals have always looked down on mortals that the desperate common folk turn to the devils for help in the first place. To deal with the crisis, the disciples decide to ask the expert for his opinion. They rush into the room only to find their own master, the palace master of Lin Immortal Palace, sitting on the floor in a state of complete shock, looking like his entire worldview has just been shattered. When the world happened to him. Meanwhile, another part of the story unfolds elsewhere. This old palace master has been desperately trying to summon his ancestor for guidance. He's been pleading at the stone monument, coughing up so much blood he's about to run out, but there's no response. He's so desperate he's threatening to die on the spot if the ancestor doesn't show up. His disciple arrives with urgent news about the devil invasion, asking for orders. The old master looks grave, knowing full well that if he can't even summon his ancestor, the entire sect's reputation is on the line. When pressured to act, another one of the disciples just closes his eyes and says, "Have you forgotten? My character trope in this plot is the scaredy cat." Dude, now is not the time for meta jokes. Finally, the old master makes a decision. They'll split up. One group, led by the elders, will join forces with other sects to fight the devils. He, meanwhile, will stay behind to continue trying to summon the ancestor. The scaredy cat's excuse is brutally shot down by everyone. Yeah, he's just scared of dying. Seeing his disciples mature and take charge, the old master gets a sudden burst of inspiration. "Okay, I will change too," he declares, then immediately yells, "Give me another batch of strengthening pills." Looks like he's planning to go all out with this summoning ritual. The female disciple steps up and begins giving clear orders, commanding all disciples to assemble into two groups led by the elders to intercept the enemy. Her composure under pressure is seriously impressive. What a leader. After getting the sex affairs in order, the disciple says she's going to get some herbs. Meanwhile, the three bandits are still waiting outside the tent, getting super impatient and complaining about how long the meeting is taking. Inside the tent, our boy is chatting with the prince. He's remarking how cultivators seem to have boundless energy, which is enviable. The prince agrees, but then Lin Yinfan trails off, saying, "But it's a pity." What was he about to say? Under Lin Yinfan's guidance, the prince's understanding reaches a new level. Lin Yinfan's words are a wake-up call for the prince. She's taken aback, realizing she'd always subconsciously blamed the immortals for the world's problems, forgetting her own duties. Her gaze hardens with resolve. From now on, she'll protect her people herself. Having reached enlightenment, the prince rushes to Lin Yinfan and begs him to be her teacher. Our boy is completely startled by this sudden move. While literally coughing up blood, she declares she was on the wrong path and must now go back to spread the master's wisdom. However, there's one small problem with her grand plan. She's broke. She jokes that she can survive on tree bark for half a month, but our boy isn't having it. What is wrong with this person? He looks so done with her nonsense. In the end, our boy's soft heart wins out, and he gives her some travel money. The prince is so grateful she starts coughing up blood again, and everyone around is just used to it by now. After sending off this eccentric royal, Lin Yinfan prepares to head out himself. Walking along, Lin Yinfan mulls over the new wisdom he just imparted, planning to ask more about it later. But his thoughts are interrupted when he spots someone lying on the side of the road. He rushes over immediately, asking, "Bro, are you okay?" Turns out, the person on the road was the prince. Lin Yinfan takes her to a porridge shop, and watching her devour the food is both hilarious and exasperating. Does she look anything like a prince right now? Absolutely not. Once she's full, the prince formally thanks Lin Yinfan again, claiming he saved not just her, but thousands of lives. She reiterates that she's the prince of the Xia dynasty. Our boy is completely lost, try to piece together what on earth is going on. The prince just keeps gushing about how lucky she was to meet an expert, referring to him, of course, praising him to the high heavens. Meanwhile, our boy is just standing there with a classic, "Who am I? Where am I? What's she talking about?" look on his face. She gets more and more excited, saying she also came looking for the expert but didn't realize he was so busy. Lin Yinfan, still clueless, finally has to ask, "Why do you say that?" He has absolutely no idea she's been talking about him this whole time. And so, the beautiful misunderstanding continues. The prince gets hyped up by her own interpretation again, convinced Lin Yinfan's words contain great wisdom. When he agrees that she's useful, she's so overjoyed she starts dancing, and then promptly coughs up blood. "It's just a chronic disease," she says casually, before inviting him to the Xia dynasty, calling him the legendary benefactor who paves the way for the expert. The brain gymnastics are astounding. She passionately invites him to come with her to the Xia dynasty to do good deeds and help the people. Our boy just looks tired. Then she hits him with the punchline. "Besides, I don't have any traveling expenses." Oh, there it is, the real reason. While the prince is laughing her head off, trouble is brewing back at the Lin Immortal Palace. The old master is having another coughing fit, and this one looks bad. His disciples are panicking around him, yelling that they're all out of pills. The summoning ritual seems to have failed completely. The old master has a full-on emotional breakdown, collapsing to the ground and crying, "You don't love me, huh?" His disciples are stunned. They've never seen their master act like this before. But just as he hits rock bottom, the stone monument erupts in a golden light. A figure begins to appear. The disciples are ecstatic, shouting, "Grand Master, you finally appeared." From within the light, a pink-haired immortal slowly opens her eyes amidst a sea of clouds and flowers. It seems she has heard the call of her descendant, and she offers a gentle smile. The beautiful ancestor has manifested. She looks around, as if searching for someone, and softly asks, "Mengji, is that you?" Everyone is completely awestruck by the divine spectacle. The old master, Mengji, is crying tears of joy, yelling, "Grand Master, it's me." Seeing his withered state, the ancestor asks with concern, "Why do you look like that? Could it be you're dying?" Wow, talk about being blunt. Mengji explains that his immortal energy is depleted and his time is short. The ancestor regretfully informs him that she can't help, as immortal energy can't be transferred. Hearing this, Mengji feels his sacrifice was for nothing, sinking deeper into despair. The realization that his entire life of cultivation has led to this ending is too much for him. Mengji completely breaks down, clawing at his own face in agony, unable to accept his fate. Taking pity on him, the ancestor presents him with a Dao fruit she obtained from an ancient ruin, offering it as a meeting gift. She explains that this fruit is incredibly rare, even in the immortal realm. This isn't just any fruit. It contains the pure flavor of the Tao itself. For a cultivator, this is an absolutely priceless treasure. The ancestor mentions that she had 2 of these fruits, but had to eat one to extend her own lifespan. Otherwise, she would have saved it for him. Her words move Mengji even more deeply. The second he hears is a spiritual fruit containing the Tao. Mengji snaps out his sadness and goes into a full-blown frenzy. The dude is literally drooling with excitement. His disciple can't even watch, muttering, "Master, aren't you overreacting?" And here, the plot reaches a fever pitch. However, Mengji hesitates to eat the Dao fruit, which infuriates the ancestor. She angrily questions who he's trying to please, asking if he cares so little about his own life. The ancestor then plays the sympathy card, crying that she's a dying immortal who just wants to see her legacy help someone. Faced with this emotional plea, Mengji is left speechless and finally eats the fruit. But after eating it, Mengji casually remarks that he's used to eating these kinds of spiritual fruits, so the effect might not be that strong. This casual flex leaves the ancestor completely baffled. "Used to eating them? Are you kidding me?" The ancestor is now furious, thinking Mengji is trying to deceive her with such a cheap lie. She feels insulted. She takes out another item, declaring she has something else that might heal him. And what does she bring out? A jar of golden flame honey she got from the expert. This is a treasure even more precious than the Dao fruit. The moment he hears honey of golden flame bee, Mengji's reaction is 10 times more intense than before. His eyes practically pop out his head. This is the stuff of legends. For real. And Mengji's reaction is totally justified. This lady here breaks it down for us. Golden flame bees aren't just rare, they're lethally poisonous. Trying to get their honey is a suicide mission. But if you succeed, it's basically a miracle potion that can bring you back from the brink of death. Now the ancestor is the one who's completely baffled. She's like, "Wait a minute. If you had access to treasures this insane, how did you end up on death's door?" Sweating bullets, Mengji finally spills the beans. He met an expert in a mortal realm, but she is not buying it for a second. She thinks he's just spinning a tale to get his hands on her precious honey. Let me inspect that jar, she demands, full of suspicion. Mengji, looking like his puppy just died, knows he has no choice but to hand it over, probably thinking he'll never see it again. The moment she gets a taste, it's game over. The fangirling is real. She's crying, shouting, "I knew it." She realizes the honey is legit, and now she's all emotional, accusing him of disrespecting her, his one and only immortal ancestor. The drama is off the charts. And just like that, poof, she's gone, with the honey, leaving this poor dude behind screaming, "I got scammed." He summoned his ancestor for help and ended up losing a legendary treasure. Ouch. Cut to 5 days later. Back at the sect, the mood is grim. They're all regretting their life choices. The elder is fuming. "We thought we could get the best deal from the immortal, but she played us." The loss is so great. This guy is literally coughing up blood from pure rage and frustration. Meanwhile, Mengji is desperately trying to summon her again, even if he has to crawl on the ground to do it. And after a giant peanut explosion, the ancestor casually pops back in, asking, "So, what do you need?" Like she didn't just ghost them and steal their honey. The other guy is fuming. He tries to be diplomatic, saying, "I was worried you were in a bad mood last time." But she just brushes it off with a smile. "Look at me. I'm perfectly fine now." He is so done with her, just angrily snapping. "Is there anything else?" Now that she's calmed down and probably finished half the honey, her curiosity is piqued. She wants to know everything about this so-called expert in the mortal realm. So Mingji starts spilling all the tea about our boy, Lin Yinfan. He tells her everything. How the expert casually creates saint-level artifacts, how he keeps an ancient fire sparrow as a common chicken, and how after they gifted it to him, it immediately laid an egg which he generously shared back. The ancestor is just stunned, realizing this guy is the real deal. They all agree. They have to get on this expert's good side. They need to find another amazing treasure to gift him. And speaking of treasures, they get super curious about that fire sparrow egg and beg to see it. But while they're busy fangirling, poor Blue Hair gets scammed again, this time by some giant creature who just takes his stuff and hits him with an okay bye. My man cannot catch a break. Meanwhile, in another sect, they're having their own ancestor problems. Realizing she's completely unreliable, they decide to cut their losses and go seek advice from Master Li instead. A much smarter move. They also bring some crucial intel. The monster kings of the Southern Mountain are gathering. Their target? The Qianlong dynasty and the nine-tailed celestial fox, who just happens to be with our boy. Looks like a storm is brewing. To prepare a worthy gift from Master Li, they set their sights on a celestial boar. Their plan is to take down this powerful monster and cook it into a gourmet meal for the expert. Little do they know, said boar is currently living his best life, being fanned by bunny girls in his cave. His minions rush in, panicking that the palace master and saintess of the Lin Immortal Palace are here. But the boar king, instead of being scared, gets super excited. What's his deal? Is he happy to see his potential killers? His underlings are begging him to run away, screaming that he'll be turned into food. But the lore monster is offended. "So in your eyes, I'm the kind of lord who's afraid of becoming a dish." He's showing off, and he knows it. The begging continues. They're literally crying, holding on to him, pleading for him to escape. You can tell they genuinely care about their boss, not ending up as bacon. Finally, the cultivators find him and are ready to pack him up. But the boar is furious, accusing them of killing his brother. Looks like we've got a classic misunderstanding on our hands. The cultivators don't even bother to listen, slapping him with accusations of invading the dynasty and coveting the nine-tailed fox. Welp, so much for a peaceful resolution. Talks have officially broken down. The boar transforms, revealing he's a monster at the apex of the fusion stage. He's going all out, and this is about to get ugly. But let's just skip to the end. After the big fight, the fearsome celestial boar has been reduced to a cute little roasted piglet with an apple in its mouth, ready to be delivered. They're told to give it to Master Li while it's still fresh. Brutal. Meanwhile, across the entire cultivation world, something massive is happening. For 100 years, spiritual herbs have been dying out. But now, all of a sudden, spiritual qi is returning with a vengeance, growing like never before. Everyone realizes this is a sign that humanity's luck is on the rise, all because a human emperor has appeared in the mortal world. Cultivators are calling this the heavenly shift. And of course, the cause of all this is none other than our boy. How crazy is this change? Even a random puppy cultivating at the Golden Lotus sect is suddenly overwhelmed by the insane amount of spiritual qi, looking totally confused about what's going on. Prodigies everywhere are benefiting from this. This girl in pink has a breakthrough on the spot, creating a literal tornado of spiritual qi that leaves everyone around her speechless. And who's watching all this unfold? The emperor and his advisor. They are 100% convinced this is all part of Master Li's grand plan. Man's determination can conquer nature. They say, this is Master Li's will. The emperor gets so fired up giving a speech that he starts coughing up blood again. His advisor is shocked. Wasn't your illness cured? But the emperor just laughs it off, saying the illness is cured, but coughing up blood is a character setting that can't be deleted. This guy is hilarious. This huge shift in the cultivation world hasn't gone unnoticed by the demon realm. The demon lord, Masha, is awakened from her slumber, sensing an abnormal surge in the luck of the human race. Her subordinate agrees, believing someone has rewritten the very fabric of the world. Masha immediately summons her agent who has contacts in the mortal world, U2. U2 appears and immediately gives her boss a big hug. They seem close. Masha cuts right to the chase, asking her what on earth happened in the mortal realm. But the moment U2 opens her mouth, she turns into a total fangirl for Lin Yanfan. She can't stop gushing about how amazing the expert is, how powerful his dog is, and how even his maids are stunningly beautiful. Masha is not impressed. She calls U2 a dummy with a weak brain, saying that's why she was so easily fooled. She believes the end of cultivation is an unwritten law of the universe. No one can stop it. In Masha's eyes, this so-called expert who dares to defy fate has only one possible ending: death. It seems a major conflict is brewing on the horizon. Masha's underlings are gossiping, totally convinced of their lord's power. They believe all cultivators should be kneeling before her and can't fathom how the severed path of cultivation could possibly be reopened. As they're discussing their plans to spread a plague and hasten the destruction of the cultivation world, a mysterious red shadow suddenly appears right behind them. Let's check back on you Tuesday. Ever since meeting the expert, she's been constantly zoning out. Her subordinates can't snap her out of it and are starting to worry she's been cursed or something. It turns out, U2 has a special ability, creating clones. And the clone she sent to Green Cloud Valley seems to have been completely brainwashed by our boy's charisma, or his protagonist Halo. And here she is now. The clone tried to convince the original U2 to convert to Buddhism, claiming its power is immense. The real U2 is furious, accuses her clone of being brainwashed, and literally kicks her out. The clone is persistent, trying to seriously discuss the issue of abandoning sexuality for Buddhism. The original counters were demons. What's even left if we abandon our sexuality? But the clone came prepared. She presents 3 solutions. 1. Commit suicide and get reincarnated as a male. 2. Possess a high-quality male body. And 3. The most ridiculous option, just add a hot dog between your legs. The real U2 is completely floored by these terrible ideas and finally loses it, screaming at her clone to just leave her alone. This clone is a complete weirdo. Meanwhile, U2's other subordinates are just chilling and gossiping, saying how they envy U2's relationship with Lord Masha. Getting paid to do nothing? That's the dream. Back in the immortal cultivator world, because of the heavenly shift, a legendary place has reappeared before everyone: the Gate of Heaven. The Gate of Heaven was the barrier that separated the immortal and mortal realms. When it closed, the path to cultivation was severed. But now, the gate is opening again, reconnecting the 2 worlds. This means that countless ancient, powerful experts who were dormant or even thought to be dead are now reawakening all at once. The entire immortal world is about to be turned completely upside down. The elder of a certain family is trying with all his might to summon his ancestor to confirm this world-shattering news. But even as his life force fades, he can't succeed. In their desperation, they decide to use the elder's son's blood for another attempt. A more direct bloodline should have a higher success rate. The poor son has no idea what's coming. And after all that effort, they finally get through to their ancestor's voicemail. Hello, I'm Gu Yuan. I'm busy right now. Please leave a message. You have got to be kidding me. The immortal world has answering machines now. Meanwhile, at the Green Cloud sect, the elders are in deep trouble. They gifted their sect master's favorite fire sparrow to Master Li, got nothing in return, and now the sect master is about to come out of seclusion. They're so screwed. Speak of the devil, the sect master is back. He arrives with great fanfare, welcomed by all the disciples. The elders quickly prepare the painting they got from the expert, hoping it'll be enough to calm him down. The sect master makes a grand entrance, surrounded by flames, looking every bit the powerful leader. His first question: did anything happen while I was cultivating? And then the disciples unload everything on him at once. The gate of heaven opened, the demon world is invading, a human emperor was born, spiritual chi is back, and, oh yeah, your favorite fire sparrow is missing. He keeps a straight face through it all, but you just know he's screaming internally. The moment he hears his pet is gone, the sect master explodes with rage. The elders immediately panic and throw someone under the bus, all pointing at one guy. Gu Yuan, the same dude from the voicemail gag. Look at the poor sect master. This powerful, imposing figure is now crying like a baby, screaming for his lost bird. This is just sad. And just then, who should appear but Gu Yuan, the man they blamed. The sect master sees him, and it's on sight. He's about to throw down, no questions asked. The parrots are even snitching on him, confirming he's the one who took the fire sparrow. The sect master gives Gu Yuan 10 words to explain himself, then attacks him before he can even speak. Talk about unreasonable. But at the last second, Gu Yuan calmly stops the fiery attack with an egg. The sect master is just frozen, completely bewildered. What kind of defense is this? Gu Yuan explains that this is Kair's egg. She's happy and living well with the expert. The sect master takes the egg, sniffs it, and confirms it has the scent of his beloved bird. Gu Yuan continues, explaining that she has a family now and doesn't want to come back. But the sect master still doesn't trust him. Seeing no other choice, Gu Yuan decides to play his trump card. His trump card is, of course, the painting from Master Li. He presents the treasure, hoping this will finally convince the sect master that he's telling the truth. The sect master scoffs, thinking it's just a worthless piece of paper. But Gu Yuan explains it contains divine qi and its power is immense. And as he's speaking, the scroll unleashes an incredible burst of energy. The next thing they know, the entire Green Cloud sect is on fire. The painting's power went completely out of control and set their home ablaze. This has gone horribly wrong. The sect master is screaming, "You should have addressed it sooner." Both of them just stare in shock as the inferno rages. Well, the misunderstanding is cleared up, but now their sect is toast. It's only then that Gu Yuan realizes what's in the painting. It's the legendary king of ancient monsters, the Golden Crow. The expert's painting is a living being. The sect master frantically asks Gu Yuan how to turn it off. Gu Yuan's response? I don't know. That's it. The Green Cloud sect is officially doomed. They agree the only option is to suppress the Golden Crow, and the only person powerful enough to do it is the sect master himself. The pressure is on, and he's completely silent. Seeing him hesitate, Gu Yuan starts threatening to pack up and find another sect if this one burns down. This just makes the sect master angrier, and they start fighting again right in the middle of the inferno. This is no ordinary fire. The flames of the Golden Crow are spreading fast, threatening to burn down the entire immortal world. Cultivators from other sects arrive to help, but they can't even get close. The fire is so intense that their clothes instantly vaporize on approach. One step closer and they'd be dead. Just in the nick of time, the ladies from the Divine Water Palace arrive on the scene. They're preparing to use their water spells to make it rain. However, this is the fire of the Golden Crow. Their spell is completely useless, and what's worse, the flames burn off their clothes too. The situation just got 10 times more awkward, and the guys watching from below are stunned. With the situation completely out of control, the Green Cloud sect master finally decides to step up and handle it himself. No more games, it's time to get serious. But just as he's about to act, the Divine Water Palace master confronts him, accusing him of setting her disciples' clothes on fire. Our guy is dumbfounded. When did I ever do that? This is a massive misunderstanding. The sect master is desperate to explain. He's so frantic that he promises to literally lick her boots after this is all over if she'll just help him suppress the Golden Crow right now. Seeing his sincerity, the palace master finally agrees to team up. Gu Yuan joins in as well, and the three masters prepare to unleash the ultimate water spell together. With their combined power, they summon a massive flood. But right in the middle of their victory, someone finally realizes, why are you not wearing clothes? A little late to the party with that observation, buddy. 1 second they're making fun of the naked guys. The next they're all getting washed away by a biblical flood. Turns out the palace master got so embarrassed about being called out, she accidentally cranked her powers up to 11. The situation is now officially out of control. This out-of-control water pillar is now way fiercer, clashing head-on with the Golden Crow's flames. The onlookers are sweating bullets, knowing that if this attack fails, they're all going to be turned to ash. But reality hits hard. Their ultimate combined attack, the pinnacle of their power, is getting evaporated instantly, sizzling away into nothing. Yeah, this isn't even a fight anymore. They're completely outclassed. Meanwhile, our two naked dudes are still struggling in the water when suddenly, it's all gone, replaced by a massive explosion of fire. Talk about an out-of-the-frying-pan into the fire situation, literally. The Golden Crow is done playing around. It's unleashing its ultimate move, a world-ending fireball that looks like it's about to wipe the entire immortal world off the map. Everyone looks on in absolute terror. This is it. But just as all hope seems lost, the apocalyptic flame starts to shrink. Some mysterious force is gathering the fire, calming it, and reshaping it into a freaking phoenix. What a plot twist. And there she is. A red-haired woman appears out of nowhere and casually diffuses the world-ending threat. Down below, our two naked guys are just completely starstruck. One of them even mutters, "What a pretty young lady." Bro, read the room. The palace master asks who she is, and she just calmly introduces herself as Yu Huofeng, a monster. As if she didn't just stop Armageddon. The casual flex is unreal, and the crowd goes absolutely wild. A phoenix. They can't believe their eyes. This legendary, divine beast just appeared out of thin air and saved them all. The shock is real. People immediately start geeking out, explaining that a phoenix is on the same level as a dragon. Even the old-timers who've lived for a millennium are freaking out, saying they've never seen one in person. This is a history-making moment. And then it clicks for the old sect master. The painting. It was Master Li's painting that started all this. A golden crow summoned a phoenix. Holy crap. Master Li didn't want to destroy the world. He just wanted a new ride. The level of misunderstanding here is legendary. The flames continue to swirl and coalesce, the majestic form of the phoenix becoming clearer and more powerful by the second. The sheer presence is breathtaking. Now holding the very scroll that summoned her, the phoenix, Huofeng, absorbs its power and asks, "Whose painting is this?" And of course, the old man points them right towards the source of all this magnificent chaos. Our boy, Lin Yanfan. At first, she's suspicious, thinking this old dude was trying to burn down the world. He panics and explains it was a gift. But then she catches the way he's looking at her, and that earlier theory hits her. Wait, does this guy want to ride me? The old man immediately starts spilling all the tea on Master Li to save his own skin. He tells her about this mortal whose paintings come to life, whose pet bird is a golden crow, and who treats divine beasts like common chickens. Huofeng is just listening with her jaw on the floor. Wow, wow, wow. The peanut gallery is freaking out. There's a big shot like that in the mortal world? Huofeng finally connects the dots. So, you're saying this trashy mortal wants a mount? That's when the old man has his epiphany. Master Li planned this all along. Huofeng is not having it. First shock, then pure rage. He wants to ride me. Me, a phoenix? What makes a mortal think he's qualified? She is absolutely fuming at the sheer disrespect. The old man, completely missing her rage, just asks innocently, so what qualifications does he need? LOL. Realizing this is pointless, she changes tactics. Fine, where is this mortal right now? Little do they know, a shady crew is eavesdropping on the whole thing. And just like that, her mood flips. She's suddenly fired up. She grabs the old man and yells, "Take me there, now." She's gonna go meet this so-called mortal and see for herself what's what. This is getting good. Cutting away to another group, a disciple reminds his master about that fire sparrow he was supposed to be looking after. The master, looking super guilty, just snaps at him to shut up. Oh, somebody messed up. The master tries to play it cool. Oh, that chicken? I was just watching it for the expert. I sent it over to lay eggs. But his subordinate has a full-blown meltdown, crying that since the bird laid eggs, the expert didn't get to eat it, and now he's going to offer them as food instead. Right on cue, the palace master shows up with a chilling smile. You know, I think we can send you to the expert as food too. The threat is real. And with that, the whole crew makes its way to the Xia dynasty, home of our boy. Meanwhile, the border of the Xia dynasty has turned into a total tourist trap. People are hawking tickets and running tour groups. And amidst the chaos, we spot Gu Ziyu and his sister Xiao sneaking in under cloaks on a mission of their own. Xiao explains why they're being so secretive. The Xia dynasty is the center of the universe right now. The mortal king was born here. The gate of heaven appeared here. This place carries the entire cultivation world's destiny on its shoulders. It's a big deal. Because it's such a hot spot, security is tight. The only way in is to blend in with a tour group. And these tours? They're a whole scheme cooked up by the prince to cash in on the hype and lure people in to see the gate of heaven, for a hefty fee, of course. And it's not just tickets. They're setting up high-priced souvenir shops to strengthen the dynasty. They know it's a grift, but they also know these cultivators aren't here for their cheap tricks. They're here for one reason, to visit the legendary master. Cutting back to Huofeng and the old man, they've arrived at the gate of heaven. He explains this is the portal between the immortal and mortal worlds, and it's been sealed shut for nearly 10,000 years. The old man insists the seals are too strong even for a phoenix, but he has a plan. Huafeng is like, plan? I'm a plan. She just sets her hands on fire and decides to brute force the damn thing open herself. You gotta love her style. Just then, the tour group arrives on the scene. They're all so proud of themselves for buying tickets to this historic event, completely oblivious to the chaos they're about to witness. Well, look who it is. Xiao runs into an acquaintance, Prince Lu. They exchange some pleasantries, and it turns out he's also here to try and open the gate. Things are getting crowded. Prince Lu proudly presents his secret weapon, 8 top-tier Mahayana stage masters. Xiao takes one look at these ancient cultivators and is not impressed. Another guy is even blunter. They look like they're on the verge of death. Not exactly the A-team. Xiao figures it out. These aren't active masters. They're ancient hermits on their last legs. This is their final gamble to ascend before they die. As the gate begins to shake, they all prepare to unleash their remaining life force to shatter the seal. While the old geezers are powering up their spirit bomb, Huafeng is still going at it, relentlessly hammering the gate with her raw power. It's a two-pronged assault on the ancient door, and it works. A brilliant flash of light, and the gate of heaven, sealed for 10,000 years, creaks open. Everyone is just staring in absolute awe. They actually did it. The path to the immortal world is clear. Huafeng is just as surprised as everyone else. She thinks her brute force attack actually worked. Like, holy crap, I used all my milk-drinking strength for that. Meanwhile, everyone else is just staring at her, completely bewildered. The crowd of mortals down below sees her emerge from the glowing gate, and they lose their minds. An immortal has descended. We're saved. They start bowing and cheering. Huafeng is just standing there like, who are all these people? Then it dawns on her. Wait, the gate wouldn't have opened with my strength alone. These mortals must have helped me. Being a noble phoenix who always repays her debts, she makes a grand declaration. Hey mortals, since you helped me, I will grant your wish to become immortal. It's just going to be a little painful, she says with a terrifying grin, and then she proceeds to help them ascend by violently blasting them with her power. The old guys are screaming in agony. This is not what they signed up for. She's not done yet. She flies over to the next group of terrified old men. You guys want to ascend too? She asks cheerfully before grabbing them. Then let's go. This is absolute beautiful chaos. The rest of the group is panicking. They don't see a phoenix repaying a debt. They see a terrifying guardian of the gate punishing them for forcing it open. Prince Lu steps up, ready to sacrifice himself to let the others escape. A true hero moment, born from a complete misunderstanding. His heroic sacrifice lasts about 2 seconds before Huafeng grabs him too. They all get caught in her ascension service. As they're getting pummeled, all they can think is, how did it come to this? The last few survivors are huddled together, crying about their missed chance to become immortal, only to run into such a fierce one. And then, Huafeng turns to them, her silhouette looming, and with a predatory smile says, it's your turn. Game over.